Hi and welcome back to this series of video. My name's Adam. I will be playing the Enchanter. I have with me Gregory, the Warrior, Andre the Trickster, and Handel the Sage. We are now on our second attempt to beat the first of 5 books of Dave Morris, Oliver Johnson, and Jamie Thompson, the Bloodsword series. So, first book, the Battlepits of Krarth, in which we are trying to get hired by a sponsor, a magus, which is a kind of nobility in the province of Krarth, in order to pass a challenge called the Battlepits, which is a large labyrinth under Caligan's Keep that would it's filled with traps, monsters, and overall danger, and only one team can go all the way through and bring back the Emblem of Victory.
Oh, fuck.
So, as I did in the first video, we will explore the rules as we come across them. Just everyone that is playing to be reminded that they can see their characters on the characters section on the handouts on the journal. There are also some enemies which can be added, and there's a glossary for terminology that we might forget during the reading. Alright, any questions before we start?
Okay, wait a second. I just dislocated my jaw.
That has been a 10 out of 10 pronunciation, and I understood
Yeah,
everything.
I'm trying to break my jaw.
You did your jaw? How? I think you better type it.
Sorry. Yes, I did dislocate in my jaw.
Ouch!
I thought you were joking for a moment.
Sometime it does happen.
Ouch.
I can do it with my toes and my finger too.
Well, at least you are knowledgeable enough to know how to locate it again, I guess.
Yeah.
So, at least there's that.
Sorry about that.
Then again, I did watch a documentary about some months ago about one of the last official ninjas lying around in was it in China or Japan? I'm not exactly sure. That was able to dislocate his shoulder at will in order to do some. Well, it was actually a useful skill in order to pass off as being injured more than he actually was, to make him less of a threat when he was following people. Anyway, so
yeah, I can do that.
well, apparently it takes practice. So let's start, since there are no questions, with paragraph 1. I will be doing the whole introduction once again, even though we did it last session, because we are going back in time, because we all died horribly by either assassins or barbarians. So, the paragraph starts with us trekking along our way to Caligan's Keep, which is right in the middle of the territory of Krarth. This territory is surrounded by marshes and inhospitable nature, and all roads are blocked off most of the year. We are going to Caligan's Keep to participate in the Battlepits, which is a huge challenge with huge rewards. But unfortunately, in order to participate in the Battlepits, we must find a sponsor. One of the 30 or so Magi of Krarth, which is the local nobility, will have to be convinced. But we are pretty much at the last minute, and once we go into the city, we can only see three pennants. So some sort of banners representing lords. Only 3 pennants are available. So as we are debating whether we should choose one of these pennants, a drunken merchant. Okay, so as you debate the choice, an old merchant wrapped in greasy furs and obviously the worst for drink sees you contemplating the booth. So we are given the choices of ignoring the drunken merchant, talking to the merchant, if the trickster wants to try something, if the sage wishes to try something, and if the enchanter wishes to try something. In previous video, the Enchanter and Sage already tried some stuff, so I'm not exactly sure we will try it again. Does the Trickster want to repeat his previous shenanigans?
Oh, of course I'm repeating my previous shenanigans.
Of course you are. Paragraph 58. Under the merchant's beer-stained fur jacket, you notice a bulging money pouch. Being a trickster, your thoughts naturally turn to theft. If you try to rob the merchant, roll 2 dice. Your attempt at robbery succeeds if you roll less than or equal to your awareness. Alright, so roll 2 dice, and we'll compare it to your awareness of 8. And that's a 4. You succeed once again, you lucky bastard.
Told you.
Yeah, I actually spoke to him a little before the recording, and he told me we'll keep being lucky because that's what tricksters are. So you saunter casually past the merchant and, reaching deftly inside his jacket, remove his doubtless ill-gotten gains. He is so drunk that he does not notice a thing. Inspecting your haul, you find that you have the grand sum of 50 gold pieces. So add 50 gold pieces to your character sheet. Yes, it is a lot compared to the 10 gold pieces we each have. But it's gonna get worse. Because if I remember paragraph 344 correctly, that means he's about to swindle some people.
Uh-oh.
So you saunter over to the booth. The 3 stewards, the one taking care of the penance, sitting on the bench in front of it, view your approach with contempt. Come to try your luck, have you? One of them says archly. You detach your money pouch from your belt and heft it in your hand. The chink of gold changes the attitude of the stewards dramatically. They now look at you with undisguised interest. Your gaze wanders over the 3 pennants as if you were uncertain which of them represented the best position. Allow me to advise you, declared one of the stewards, jumping to his feet. Or me, says another, tripping him so he blunders past you, falling into the gutter. His fellow is somewhat bigger than the other 2 stewards, who allow him to approach you without any further agreement. Such advice will be well worth the 5 gold pieces I'm prepared to pay, I hope, you say. Probably its value lies not far off the 10 gold pieces I'm prepared to accept for it, he replies. If you agree to pay him 10 gold pieces, cross them off your character sheet. If you insist that you will pay only 5 gold pieces, go to 454, and if you see you'll pay him 5 gold pieces before and 5 after he's advised you, cross 5 of your character sheet and turn to 166.
So I will do the same thing that I did last time. We'll offer the 5 gold now and pay 5 gold
After. Alright. So 166. So 166. 5 now, 5 then, you tell him. You produce 10 large gold coins and put 5 of them in his hands. You still keep your own hand closed around them. He looks eagerly at the 5 coins in your other hands. The scarlet banner is the symbol of Magus Balasar, who is noted for an almost human compassion at times. This quality sets him apart from the other Magi, who have hearts of cold rock. Thanks for the advice, you say with a smile. You whip the first 5 coins out of his hand and give him the other 5 instead. 5 before and 5 after. You scurvy scum! You sly wretch! You pustule of a gangrenous venom! He screams. Well, I lied, see? The scarlet banner is the worst one to take, in fact. Flushed with anger, he slows back to where the other 2 stewards sit, chortling gleefully. Turn to 332. So 332.
Wait, just to be sure. When we paid him and we promised him 10 gold, he told us that the crimson banner.
The scarlet banner is the banner of Magus Balasar, which is almost human, which is a huge quality comparison of the other 2. And when we basically stole back the 5 golds we gave him and put 5 back into his hands, he just told us that he lied.
Yes.
Totally.
Better info for cheaper.
Yeah, yep. But at this point, it's not bad because, as we will see, actually Balasar is the best choice.
Yeah.
But 3 banners. You must choose one. Will it be the scarlet banner, the one of Magus Balasar, the olive green banner for Magus Kalugan, or the black and purple banner for Magus Vile?
So it was the red, the good one, right?
Yeah, Magus Balazar was the one we chose previously.
Yeah.
So do we still choose that one?
I do not recommend the two other.
Yeah, me neither.
As by knowledge, one of them is screwed, and the other is.
Yeah, the previous thing, the sage was able to remember some things that he read about the Magus. Magus Callaghan, the owner of the keep, is a cruel and playful man that doesn't give a rat's ass about our success. And the black and purple banner is Magus Vile, which is a undead.
He's not.
Care about it.
He's not from the land of the living, to be honest.
Alright, so we choose the Scarlet Banner?
Yep.
Alright. One thing to mention is that Magus Balazar is not only a human being, but also he desperately needs the win in the recent Battlepits because it will determine the favors the other Magi will owe him. And he needs those favors. So you snatch up the red pennant and hold it aloft. Two of the stewards look at each other, barely concealing their frustration, and stomp off to the booth. The third rushes up at you excitedly. You have chosen the pennant of the esteemed and generous Magus Balazar, he cries. Just at this moment, a tall man dressed in scarlet robes sweeps majestically across the square towards you. The steward bows abjectly to him. Go to 397. 397, 397... I am Balazar, says the man in red, stroking his mustache. I will be pleased to engage you to represent me in tomorrow's contest. First, however, I must test your worthiness. Regardless of your strength and courage, you will require great cunning if you are to win for me tomorrow, and several promising candidates have already been rejected because they lacked the necessary intelligence. Therefore, come to my mansion tonight. When you arrive there, you will know the nature of the test. Go to 64. So 64. You arrive at Balazar's mansion at the temple gongs of the citadel sounds out the hour of midnight. A long avenue flanked by cedar trees and decorated with gaily covered lanterns and embroidered banners on pole stretches to the white marble portico of the main entrance. Guards patrol up and down the avenue, but they seem to ignore most of the guests. However, they stare long and hard at you and are just about to step up and challenge you when Balazar rushes from the doorway of the house to greet you. He gestures you towards the doorway, behind which you can see a party in full swing. All the revelers wear masks concealing their identities. They are entertained by jugglers and musicians. The usher offers you a tray with drinks and sweetmeats laid out on it. My master will speak to you of employment, he says. That is, he gestures at the dozens of revelers, if you have the ability to find him. You stare in bewilderment at the masked party-goers. How are you to locate your prospective employer among them? If there's a trickster who wants to bribe the usher, turn to 53. If there's a sage who intends to use ESP, turn to 309. If there's an enchanter who thinks it's worth summoning the Falcon, which is a kind of a fairy familiar, turn to 232. If you just want to use your powers of deduction to work out which of the revelers is Balazar, turn to 458. Last time we had the sage use his ESP in order to get the Magus's mind. I think it went well. So, should we do that again?
I can see that. Well, yeah, of course I'm using it. Do you want to go straight to that page, or do you want me to act it out?
309. So you don't need to act it out. We will just be going to 309 and see how it goes. So ESP is not always reliable or easy to use. You retire to a quiet corner of the room, which is strange in a ballroom, and meditate, clearing your mind of all distractions. The sublime strains of the flautist music help you to focus and channel your thoughts into the space between thoughts, where all your psionic abilities become operational. You reach out with your mind, scanning the thoughts of those in the room. Obviously, Balthazar has anticipated this strategy because you discover he has placed a blanketing spell on all the guests. You detect no thoughts from anyone present, apart from those of your colleagues, if any. But wait, you do pick one set of thoughts from a Saturnine man dressed in a dark blue cloak and a horned bull mask. Turn to 348. 348. ESP indicate thoughts from only one of the revelers. If you approach this man and declare him to be Balasar, turn to 382. If you attack the man, turn to 29. If you don't trust ESP and would rather rely on your ingenuity, turn to 458. I suggest, knowing what we know now, because we died once, that we should attack the man.
Gregory, you should be the one who wants to fight him first, to be honest.
Okay, what happened last time?
Because that guy is an assassin sent to kill Magus Balasar. We tried to intercept him, and he killed you.
Hello?
Well, if I have memories of this,
Well, you do.
then let's get close, unsheath my sword, and stab his ass.
Alright, 29. Alright. Okay, so before we attack, we must discuss about the battle order. The battle order will be our position. Usually, we have a position as 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 being the closest to the enemies in front, and 4 being more in the back. So far, so good. We have to discuss which battle order we will use.
Do we start right next to him in position to attack, or do we
Yeah,
need a turn?
I must discuss the battle order before we determine what are the positions, unfortunately.
I guess put me first. Though I'm not the first in initiative.
No, you're
If
not the
I-
first in initiative, but being in front would allow you to, take some of the damage that we would otherwise take.
Because I'm the one who can take the most damage. Okay.
Alright, what about the second in the battle order?
I'll take up the second position.
Alright, third position being?
That'd be me.
Okay, I'm still in fourth position, which will be great if we attack the barbarians again.
You're in the nerd position.
Alright, so let's switch ourselves to the battle map. Boop. There we go. And I'll read the paragraph now completely, just in order to avoid going into any rules that I might forget. You saunter over while the man is selecting a pastry from a tray. Position yourself beside him as shown. You get 1 free round before he can act, because he was not expecting your attack. Alright, so let's see.
Surprise!
For some reason, no one else in the party comes to your aid. If you flee from the mansion to turn to 119. If you kill the man, turn to 184. Alright, so I will be placing the I'm just holding the page together now. Alright, so the map goes as follows. So polygon. Let's go it for black walls. Alright, and that will be on the map. So oh, come on. Why isn't it working? Seriously, oh, okay. I figured that.
We all dragged our icons on the battle map.
3, 4, 5, 6, yep. 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. Oop. There we go. Alright. And then we have... that map is not exactly complete per se, but that is the only walls we get. Alright, now I will go back to the objects and position my character. So, my character is around here. Oh, come on. Oh. I'm a doofus. Alright, there we go. The Trickster, being position number 2, will be here. The Warrior will be here. The Sage is here. Why can't I select the Sage? Here, there we go. Alright, and the man in blue. Alright, let me, just a moment, I will be doing the stats of the man in blue.
The blue man group?
The blue man group. So, man in blue. Visible in all players' journals. Remove that. I'll be putting the M
Wait.
number on it.
Wouldn't it be assassin?
Well, that would be only if he revealed himself as such, and for the moment, he's only a man in blue. And
Oh.
fortunately for us, he doesn't have the poison ability, which is great, because that means nobody will be one-shotted.
Say that again?
Well, if the assassin had revealed himself as an assassin and attacked anyone, and
But then it would
managed
be
to do
dead.
at least 1 point of endurance damage, the guy dies. No saving throw, nothing like that.
That's how you died.
That's dirty.
That is. It is very, very dirty. So, let's position the man in blue. And he's now sandwiched between our married party. I'll just set up his hit points. He has 15 endurance points. And there we go. Save changes. There we go. Excellent. So, by the way, endurance on your character sheet is your hit point, the equivalent of your life points. Alright, so in terms of initiative, the Trickster will go first, so I will add him to the battle turn. And then followed by the Sage and the man in blue. What is your awareness score, Greg?
It is also 6.
It is 6, so the warrior and enchanter will go at the end. And by the way, in order to resolve ties, basically everyone that has the same awareness score does their thing at the same time. So if somebody attacks while somebody else moves, well, both do this.
So 3 of us have 6
Nope.
6 awareness.
Nope, the sage got 7,
Yeah.
Oh, on his
and the men in
character
blue.
sheet it says 6.
Oh, what?
I'm supposed to have the same.
No. I think Greg is right actually. Let's see, Sage second rank. No, your awareness is 6. You are on the same initiative as the warrior and enchanter actually.
Yeah.
It might be a mistake though. I do seem to recall the first time I've seen it. I've read
Yeah.
it before the game. It was at 7.
Yeah, it was 7 when I.
But no, I
did.
just
Reduced?
rechecked. I just rechecked on the book. It's actually 6.
It is 6.
Okay,
Oh,
well. Let's
So we
see.
all play together. That's weird, but okay.
All right, so we'll start things off with the Trickster. You are just next to the man in blue, which you've somehow decided to attack. Which action do you take? Just to remind Greg, that was not part of the combats here. As far as the rules, the actions in combat can be the following: you can move, you can fight, you can defend, you can shoot with a bow, although you do not have a bow as the warrior. You can flee. In order to flee, you must be on a flee square, but at this point, let's not consider fleeing at the moment.
And I
Or you
cannot
can
guess
cast
it.
a spell, but casting a spell is only reserved for the Enchanter. So, what do you do, Trickster?
I will attempt to hit the man in blue.
Alright, roll 2 dice, and hope that you get below your physical prowess or something like that. What is the name of the attribute again? Your fighting prowess. There you go. And that's a 7, which is just enough to hit. So roll your damage.
Damage 1d6.
Oh, that does 1 damage. Fortunately for us, the man in blue doesn't have any armor rating, so he takes that damage. That is the man in blue's turn, and he will attack.
Like a champ.
Do we
Didn't
know
the
how
man
much?
in blue have disadvantage since we are attacking him and he wasn't prepared?
This
Oh yeah, right, we get a free attack. That is right, I have said that. So the Sage, your turn.
I bonk him on the head with my stick.
Alright, normal attack?
Yep.
Okay.
You know what? No.
You
Let's
sure you
try
want to
to do
use 3
something
dice for
cool.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So it's 3d6.
Yep.
Right?
And you try to get under 7 with 3 dice. And you got 10. That's a nice effort,
Almost.
but you still missed.
Almost.
Guys.
Alright. Then it would be the warrior's turn. Well, anyway, it's the sage warrior and enchanter's turn because we're all doing that. That's 9. It's just over what you need to have, so
Yep.
you miss.
I miss.
On my end, since I warned people before starting the game that I had the Whitefire spell registered, I will try to cast it. It's 2 dice 6 plus 1, and I try to get under 7. And that's a huge fail. Alright, so that's it for the free turn. That's back to
first turn.
So back to the Trickster.
Alright, so I'm going to try to hit the man in blue again with my sword.
Mm-hmm. And you still hit. Managed to do more damage this time. Yay, 3 damage. And that's...
We're getting somewhere.
Yes, we are getting somewhere. Is now at 11 endurance, which is great. Alright, it is the man in blue's turn. He will now attack. Now we must determine at random who he will attack by rolling a dice 6. So I say 1, 2 for the warrior, 3, 4 for the trickster, and 5, 6 for the sage. Because we cannot attack in diagonal. You can only attack up, down, left, right.
Yep. Makes sense.
Alright, so 1 dice 6. And that is the warrior that will take the attack. And he missed, and the man in blue misses with his dagger. So that's great. Now Sage Warrior and Enchanter will do all our things. I'll still try to cast my spell. Now it's 2 dice 6.
I hit.
And I miss.
To hit him with my bonk. I still hit him with my bonk stick.
Okay, so Warrior, hit your damage. And that's...
4.
Yay, 4. And you already integrated your +1, so that's great. The Sage you hit as well.
So I roll 1d6.
Yep. And that's... Wow,
That's a
6
six.
damage. And I'm a little sad I lost my spell because the man in blue only has 1 HP left. 1 endurance point left. So the Trickster's turn comes in, so you can...
Stab him in the foot.
Yeah, if you hit him, you do the coup de grâce.
Alright, let's hope for the best.
And you lucky fellow, you hit, and whatever amount of damage you do is enough to kill the man.
It was almost perfect overkill.
Yes, almost perfect. And just
Well,
put
we
a little
damage.
X on him because he's dead. Do you see the X, by the way?
Yeah.
I just wanted to...
It would be nice, Adam, if you would go in the settings of the tokens. Well, you might have to do it every time, sadly, but to show us how much hit points it has left.
The setting of the token? Because I tried to, because I put a bar, but I just don't see how I can make it visible for... let's just see. I just saved the changes. It says visible to everyone. Do you see now the bar?
There's no, we don't see it, but there's 2 settings right next to each other. You have to check a box, if I recall, and select from.
Okay, now I checked the box saying C, and now do you see it?
I see it.
All right, let's do that for everyone's. Advance bar
Yeah,
1.
that's gonna be nice.
I see it.
All
I
right.
see it.
Now I'm doing it as well for everyone.
So we can see
I
how much
see it.
everyone has.
All right, visible to everyone. Save changes. Same thing for the sage.
Are there
See.
any items specifically made for certain characters in the book? Like, is there any item made that only the warrior can use? I guess only the enchanter can use. There must be some items, but only the warrior.
I do not know. Actually, I know that some items will be more beneficial to some characters than others, but I think they can all be used by everyone. But I could be mistaken because I did not read the whole collection. Alright, so everyone is able to see everyone's bar right now?
Yes.
Alright.
Yo.
I also have a little blue bar, but that's because I'm a special little snowflake.
Yeah.
That's my psychic ability. Each time I memorize a spell, my psychic ability goes down 1 point. and each time I'm cast it, it removes itself from my memory, and I gain back the status. So now I have one spell memorized. Alright, so that is done. The fight is won. And nobody got injured somehow. So we killed the man. So paragraph 184. Did we manage to piss off Balazar because we attacked a guest? Spurting blood, the man slides to the floor. Clawing at the tablecloth as he falls, he pulls dozens of china plates and goblets down on top of him with a crash. Strangely, no one in the room seems to take any notice except for a fellow in a black domino cape. A Balazar for those following. You gaze around in astonishment. A hunchman in a gold tunic is pouring himself a glass of wine, oblivious to the disturbance. A man in a green wig goes on laughing at a friend's joke as though he had not noticed the battle at all. A masquerade jester proceeds with his antics, and a man adorned in a laurel wreath of a sage of ancient Silentium as hires only for the serving girls. One of these men is Balazar. Which one? The man wearing the domino cape? The hunchman? The man in a green wig? Or the jester? Or the Silentine sage? Well,
I guess you already know he must be the one guy reacting.
Yeah, he's the one guy reacting. In our previous playthrough, we realized that every single guest except the assassin and Balazar were illusions placed by Balazar, which is a powerful mage. So, the domino cape is 178. You identify Balazar and stride over to him. My Lord Magus, you say, giving a curt bow. You need look no further for champions. Excellent, says Balazar, standing and removing the hood of his cape. You have found me amongst all these images. With this he turns and, waving his hands, murmurs a spell. The partygoers fade from sight. They were all illusions, explains Balazar, except for the assassin you cunningly rooted out and dealt with. I'm impressed. And since he might have taken my life, I am even indebted to you. Such obligation is not seemly towards one's employees, so I shall discharge the debt at once by rewarding you. He claps his hands, and a servant scurries in at once, carrying a silver sword studded with emeralds. Nice. This he hands to you. If there is a warrior in the party, Balazar will hand it to him or her. It is.
That answers my question.
It is Blutgetranker, the blood drinker, made out of a sliver from the legendary sword of the god Frey. You cut the air with this fabulous weapon. It seems light, but hums with deadly force. Add 1 to your fighting prowess when fighting with it. Nice. Also, in combat against any giant, that is a creature that is specifically described in the text as a giant, you add 1 die 6 to the damage you inflict with a successful blow. That's so cool.
That's pretty cool. Could you repeat the name, please?
I will spell it for you. Actually, I will write it down on Roll20 because I'm not exactly sure you will be able to spell Blutgetranker.
Blutgetranker?
So I
Sounds
will.
German.
Yeah, probably. So I wrote it down in case Greg wants to write it down in his character sheet. By the way, you can edit your character sheet with your
Oh yeah,
I'm doing it right now as we speak.
So, and please update your fighting prowess. Now that is 9 if I'm not mistaken, which makes you a very good fighter, let's just say.
Unless you roll a 10.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
But no, I'm not kidding. In 2 dice 6, getting 9 or under will be more frequent. Compared to me that has a fighting prowess of 6. And the other companions would have fighting prowesses of 7. So yeah, just tell me when you finish writing this down, and then we'll continue.
So it says the plus 1d6 damage against
Giants.
Giants.
And plus 1 to your fighting prowess.
Only in combat.
No, it's not only against giants. So the plus 1 fighting prowess is always...
Only in combat.
Yeah.
I said.
Alright, good. So, let's go to paragraph 134 next. I need consider no more champions, says Balazar. Now it is time to equip you for the contest tomorrow. He hands each player in the party an opal medallion. So please, everyone, write down your opal medallion. Opal medallion. Save changes. Great. I will just put my character sheet elsewhere during the time of general descriptions. There we go. Alright. Okay. Balazar tells you that this will allow him to monitor your progress through the battle pits and possibly intervene with magic or advice when you're in trouble. He also gives the first player in the battle order, which means the warrior, a strange item, an octagonal glass prism. He's not sure what it does, but thinks you will find a use for it. Then a servant shows you to bedchambers where you may get some rest. So, warrior, you need to write down an octagonal glass prism.
Done.
Alright. You are up before the dawn, practicing your combat techniques and preparing your mind for the ordeal to come. Balazar and his guards take you out. The streets are full of bleary-eyed revelers. Many of them have been up all night, jostling one another for a better view. You see the curtained letter of Magus Vile, who obviously does not enjoy the dawn, accompanied with the 3 dark-robed assassins who will champion him. Several other Magi stand upon the dais in urgent consultation, making last-minute deals and alliances before the contest begins. You are escorted across a cold tundra. Other groups are also filing away from the citadel. Among them, you notice a group of bronze-armored barbarian employed by Magus Thor and the master warlock Icon the Ungodly, who carries the pennant of Magus Uru. At last, you reach a huge portal set into a hillside. Balazar ushers you in, and you step through the greatest adventure of your life. Alright, turn to 201, 201, 201, 201. With Balazar's standard, you advance into the first chamber of the underworld. Torches flicker in brackets around the grime-encrusted walls. At the center of the room, a vast marble table has been laid with a luscious array of sweetmeats and succulent viands. Balazar watches you proceed through the heavy door and as his servants swing it shut. Succeed in your quest to find the Emblem of Victory and I will reward you lavishly, he says. But fail and... His last words are drowned out by the deep clang as the door swings shut. If there's a sage in the party, he or she can inspect the food. Turn to 413, otherwise you can eat or leave the room either by a corridor at the far end or by entering an alcove on your left. We already tested the food last game and technically it was all fine. So I'll just switch us back to the world map because we don't need the battle map for the moment. So, I think we can eat simply.
Yep.
273. Balazar has provided excellent fare for you to begin your journey. Any wounded character who eats his fill restores 1 endurance point. You may gather up some of the food to take with you. The portions you take, each healing 1 endurance, can be stored in a backpack and each counts as 1 item of encumbrance. You may eat 1 portion after any combat. Now you're ready to move on. By the way, you can put as much food as you want in your inventory. You have a maximum space of 10. I will update my character sheet and I will just fill my inventory with food just in case.
Same here.
Because anyway we can drop items, so I see not why we could not just carry as much food as we want. So there we go. I now have 6 items of food.
I'm gonna be the odd one out and only take 3
Alright.
for purchase food and leave 1 space open.
Okay. But you do know that if you find another item, you can simply drop 1 food, right?
Oh, I completely understand.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I want to drop any items.
Okay, good.
I was in a call. It's 1 endurance per item of food.
Exactly, and you can only take 1 after a call. After a combat, sorry.
Only 1. Okay, so for example, I have 4 food. After 4 fights, after each of them, I can take 1 food to recover 1 endurance.
That is correct. Alright. Alright, so, again, let's see another choice. Will you enter the corridor leading from the far end of the room? By the way, that's the path we chose last time. Or the alcove in the side wall?
I'd say we use the same path.
Okay, well, it went fine until we reached the barbarians.
I would think that we should try something different,
Okay.
just in case. If anybody...
How well did it go the first time?
Well,
It
We
had to
died.
end up with the barbarians and we died, right?
Well,
Yeah.
actually, we were able to spy on the barbarians, and the only reason why we were not performing against them, even though there were only 2, is because we got the unluckiest of rolls, and we did not have a warrior anymore because he died to an assassin some fight back.
Yeah.
But then again, I will not be putting my vote, so the sage votes that we should go in front. The trickster says we should go to the alcove on the side wall. What says you, warrior, that never went into that labyrinth?
Going straight up seems like the warrior's way.
Okay, good. Well, since you follow the rules of honor and chivalry, I guess you will go front. Okay, so the far end of the room, 326. Alright. You're walking in what you judge to be a northerly direction along a red carpeted corridor lined with gilt-edged mirrors that cast dim reflections from your torchlight. The carpet muffles the sound of your feet as you move along, sending up small puffs of the centuries-old dust that covers everything. If the party includes an enchanter, he or she can use a prediction spell. By the way, I already did it and I succeeded. At the other side of the door at the end of the corridor, there's a creature that is immune to magic that I never want to encounter. By the way. If the party includes a sage and he or she wishes to use ESP, go to 362. Otherwise, you continue along the corridor, a vague sense of unease growing with every footstep.
So do we want to keep going or can we change?
No, we cannot change our mind right now. Well, except if you just say so that we should go on the alcove and go for the thing. But I guess we should probably ask the sage to try ESP.
Yes, I will.
362. It is unreliable, so at this point you have to choose between paragraph 498 or 258 in order to see if that succeeds or not. I don't remember which one you chose last time.
I remember that I chose the one that ended up giving us like the result where I did know what was happening.
Yeah.
I think.
But there's no indication in the paragraph to which one it is. So you
So now
need
I
to
need
choose
to
either
roll?
498 or 258. I think you
258?
chose 258.
I think you chose 258.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 258.
All right, 258. Let's see if your memory is better than mine. You struggle hard to focus your mind until beads of perspiration stand out on your forehead, but try as you might, you cannot achieve the effort of will needed to activate your latent psionic power. Groaning with exasperation, you abandon the attempt. Turn to 216.
That was the other one then.
The
Well,
corridor,
whoops.
but we're still not dead. By the way, you go into paragraph 216. The corridor ahead terminates in vast bronze double doors. To either side, gilt-framed mirrors wink in your torchlight. Unless the mirrors conceal some hidden passageway, the only route lies through the bronze door in front of you. If there's a trickster in the party, we can examine the mirror, which we did last time. Turn to 511. If not, you can look behind the mirrors or advance at the end of the corridor and open the bronze doors. Trickster, can you do your thing?
Yeah, I'll do my thing, and we'll try to stay safe.
Thank you. 511.
What spell has the Enchanter ready if he's gonna face something immune to magic?
Yeah, no. That's why we don't want to go through the door. The trickster is going to examine the mirrors, and will reveal a passageway that
Oh,
avoids.
it's automatic. He doesn't have a test to success.
Well, this one, no, actually. By the way, just to remember Greg as the warrior, there will be several choices along our adventure, but usually the choices that are role specific. Let's say if there's a trickster in your party and he wants to try something, or if there's a sage in your party and wants to try something, usually it's the best choice compared to the others.
Good.
It's just my memory of the thing. But Trickster, you bend close to each of the mirrors in turn, listening intently for any sound beyond. Gently tapping with one of your fingers, you hear a slight movement as if something was lurking behind it, perhaps even waiting in the darkness to ambush you. You tap each of the other mirrors in turn and hear the same rustling sound behind each of them except one. Examining the gilt frame of this mirror, you find a concealed catch which, when flicked down, allows the mirror to swing away from the wall. Behind it, a low tunnel leads up to an oblique angle to the corridor in which you stand. Go to 379. 379. You scramble along a low tunnel that leads off the red carpeted corridor. The tunnel seems very old, as if hewn from the bedrock of the keep many hundreds of years before. After a while it enlarges a little, but you still have to crouch slightly as you advance up to a twisting flight of rock-cut steps and then begin to descend a long pebble-strewn ramp. At last you reach the end. A grill is set into the floor. Looking down, you see a corridor of grey marble, which ends in a bronze-bound door. The grill you're looking through is set in the ceiling of that corridor. There is the sound of a key being turned, and then the bronze door swings open. 4 burly barbarians stride forward, slamming the door behind them. Apparently not noticing the grill and ceiling, they stop directly beneath you and console a scrap of parchment. "What's it say, Eric?" mutters one. "Well, I'm not sure, Snorri," says the fellow with the parchment, scratching fleas out of his hair. "I can't read, can I?" "By munning and hugging," bellows a red-bearded ox of a man. "Have you no learning, Eric?" He snatches the parchment and peers at it. "Well, it says... I reckon it says one of the passages up ahead is a dead end. But what do you want to listen to a bit of parchment for? The only way to find out for sure is to see for ourselves." They are about to move on. If you dislodge the grating and jump down to attack them, turn to 6. If you stay where you are and watch they do next, turn to 141. My vote is to wait, because there are 4 burly barbarians and I'm 1 scrawny mage.
Yep.
I would wait. Let them take the trap in the face.
So you're willing to dislodge it and attack them?
No.
Okay.
To wait.
Okay. Alright, so, Trickster?
I'm sorry, there was just something came up. Well, could you repeat the action?
So, yeah, we are above a grate over the barbarians. Do we wait or do we attack them directly? Last time we waited. Do you still want to do the same thing?
Yeah, still wait. It's better.
Alright, then. Alright. So, what should we do next? 141. Alright, barbarians swagger off down the corridor, discussing all the ale they'll be able to buy with their loot once they have won the contest. You smile wryly, reflecting that this is a clear case of counting one's chicken before they hatch. If you have a sage in the party, this might be a good time for him to her to try an ESP scan. If there's no sage in the party, you can dislodge the grill and drop down to follow the barbarians, or wait where you are, watching through the grill. Alright, so here's the choice for you. 297 or 448?
ESP.
So 297 or 448?
Oh, okay.
Because ESP is unreliable, as we have seen.
448.
448. I believe
like
this was the one you chose last time.
Huh?
I feel like you could write these down if we fail again.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what was the last one I used?
I do not remember. Well, the one that we're doing right now is the 448, by the way.
Okay, just a moment while I take some notes.
Alright, while you write it down, I will just go to the description that I did previous game. Your ESP works. Your senses effortlessly escape their usual confining bonds and spread in front of you, sniffing out the thought patterns of others. Although it is difficult to pick them up, you eventually register the limited thoughts of the barbarians as they progress down the corridor. There's a brief surge of mental energy as they appear to reach a branch of the corridor and have to decide what to do next. They then divide into 2 groups. The right-hand group of thoughts seems to be approaching another set of thought processes somewhat more powerful than their own. The barbarians are apparently not aware that this other group lies in front of them. So, if you remain where you are, turn to 73. If you lower yourself through the grill and follow the barbarians, turn to 477. So, do we wait or do we go?
If I do remember correctly, we should go.
Okay, well, that's what we did last game. Last session, we did go.
Yeah.
Alright, so you pull the grill free easily and drop quietly to the passage floor. You creep along the way the barbarians went, though they are now not in sight. You come to a point where the corridor splits in two. You can go left down the black marble passage, or right down the white marble passage. Last game we went left because the right passage seemed a good idea, because there was another thought pattern that was frightening.
Yeah, so let's go left again.
Okay. Everybody okay with that, by the way?
Yes.
Excellent. So, left, 389. 389, 389, 389. You make your way along the black corridor. Eventually, you come to a door in the left wall. If you go in, turn to 211. If you go on, turn to 249. If you remember all well, if we go through the door, there will be 2 barbarians and we will fight. Do you wish to do that again?
Are you ready to fight?
We could. They are competitors. Eventually, we'll have to kill them. That's one thing. And they're 2, we're 4. It will be easier this time around. And we have one guy with a magical sword, apparently now.
Ah, yes, the famous blood-immune Trenka.
Yep.
Alright.
I'd say we fight.
Alright, the
I
blood
think
drinker.
fighting would be best.
Okay then. Okay, so let's go to 11.
You guys know what the octagonal glass prism does?
No, we don't know yet, and Magus Balasar doesn't either.
Right. It's gonna be useful at some point.
The door swings open. You come face to face with 2 of the barbarians. One of them is about to lift a fire-blackened skull as you enter. They whirl, hefting their axes for battle. Alright. They all got fighting prowess 8. They each do 1d6 plus 2 damage. They have a psychic ability of 5, awareness of 7, an armor rating of 1. And the 2 barbarians have 12 endurance. So I will prepare the battle fight. Yeah, no, the barbarians, we did not want to fight them at 4. At 2, we will be able to kill them if we get lucky enough. And here's the thing. The two other barbarians soon hear the noise of combat to come and aid their comrades. These 2 will enter the room behind you after 4 rounds. So keep track of rounds as they pass.
Ouch. This is gonna be tough.
And by the way, we cannot flee before the rear 2 barbarians have entered the room. So we have to fight the 4 of them. We'll just be fighting them 2 at a time, which is easier for us.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll just change about the battle order. So let's remove the map.
What's our plan this fight? Am I going in front trying to tank the damage with the defend action, I think? And letting you guys shoot them? Or are we going all out on the damage to make sure we kill them before the other 2 show up?
Yeah, I
Well,
believe
now-
we should kill each of them like one at a time, although it will not be easy considering what we have here. By the way, the flee zone is will determine the shape of it in gray. The flee zone is the doorstep here. Sorry, just fill it. Draw shape completely in gray, please. There we go. The flee zone is here. Now, the warrior will be here. I guess, yeah, he is here. The trickster is here. Sage there. And Enchanter here. There will be 2 barbarians, which I will bring up. I'll just edit their stats a little bit. There we go. I already prepared the barbarians in the previous time that we fought them, so that will be easier for us to come up with. Alright. Let's prepare their stats. So they have each 12 hit. By the way, 12 endurance. Is that about what you have of endurance as well?
For the warrior and the trickster, if I recall. Yeah.
Alright.
Yep.
But they do more damage than us. They do 1d6 plus 2. I do 1d6 plus 1.
I'm just preparing their
Trickster
stats.
1d6.
It won't be that long. Just making sure you all see it. There we go. Save changes. Alright, everyone's able to see their life. Alright, so
Yes.
we need to take track of their the number of turns that we do, by the way. So it will be turn 1, and we have the Trickster starting up everything.
Alright, to start off, I'm going to attack the barbarian in front of me and try to hit him.
Alright.
Oh, that's the issue. We can only attack in front of us, so we cannot really focus fire that much.
That is correct. Except that the sage wants to put himself next to the other barbarian. Although I would recommend him to basically shoot with an arrow at this point.
Yep.
Alright, so the Trickster misses, unfortunately. So that's the turn of both barbarians. Both barbarians will attack, respectively, the warrior and the Trickster. So put the turn order right here. So first of all, for the warrior, they miss. And for the Trickster, they of course hit. Inflicting 3 damage minus your armor.
It's plus 2.
Yeah, it's
1d6 plus 2.
Well, 1 dice is plus 2. I'm using the normal dice roller on this side. So 3 damage minus your armor. For the Trickster. There we go. I see the health has been updated. Now that Barbarian's turn has arrived, so it's the Sage, Warrior, and Enchanter. I will be trying to cast my spell at the Warrior, the Trickster's enemy.
And I'm gonna
And I
shoot at the.
succeed. Yay.
I'm gonna shoot at the barbarian. Right.
Which one?
Or the one in front of the warrior.
Okay. On my end, I managed to cast the spell, meaning that I now forget the spell that I had. And
I hit.
oh, yeah, you.
So
No, it's
you...
yeah, it's true. There.
Okay.
And you
to
do
keep-
5 damage minus 1. The
I know,
Sage
I fucking
misses,
miss.
but so 4 damage to the Barbarian, remaining health 8. Alright, there you go. On my end, I focused on the one near the Trickster, so I will be inflicting 2 dice 6 plus 2 damage. So 13 damage minus 1, and I one-shot him. Yay!
That's a powerful spell.
Jesus Christ.
Superstar.
Thing is, you can do it only every 2 turns, at best.
Yeah, because I need to take another action at memorizing the stuff. So let's just put an X over him, and he's dead. There we go. That's great. I feel great about this. Alright. So, the Trickster, back to you, man. Now that you have one less barbarian to worry about.
One turn is down.
Alright,
Yeah,
I'm
we are in
going
round
to
2 right now.
shoot the barbarian with an arrow, or try to hit the barbarian with an arrow.
Alright, don't forget to remove 1 arrow from your quiver. And you hit. That's nice. So 1 die 6 damage. And that's 1. Unfortunately, the barbarian's armor compensates for it, and you do no damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Hey.
That's a lot of the damage.
Yeah.
Flex tape. Anyway, no, that's a Flex Seal commercial, actually. Anyway, so that was it for the Trickster. Well, 1 barbarian is down, so let's remove him from the initiative order. There we go. But the other one will still swing at the warrior, attempting to hit him, and he hits. 1 die 6 plus 2, that makes 6 damage, minus your armor of 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. I lose 1 HP.
Alright. Now that we have that done, it is now Sage Warrior and Enchanter time. The Enchanter will memorize another White Death spell, so...
And I'm gonna shoot again.
You're gonna shoot again.
I deal 7 damage.
And I don't miss.
And no, you don't miss.
We might finish him off.
And you do 4 damage, which means 3 more damage on him. The Warrior managed to hit, inflicting 7 damage, so 6, so that's another one dead. And another one down, and another one down, and another one bites the dust. Hey.
And we have 1 turn left to reposition ourselves too.
Alright.
That's great.
That is correct. So it is
Don't have two?
it's beginning of turn 3. And by the way, they say they enter a room after 4 rounds. So technically they enter at round 5.
Yeah.
So they will manage to pop in on the flee zone. So at this point, we can move, I guess. Trickster, what do you do?
I have a suggestion.
Okay, what is it?
Force them to move. So if we go here on the side and in front, we can both attack two barbarians, or we can have the mage, the enchanter, move backward not to be attacked.
Yeah, I'm all
But
for
we
moving
can't have
backward.
2 attacks again.
Yeah, I was just looking up how many spaces I could move.
You can
which is half
basically
of the-
move to an amount of squares equal to half your awareness bonus rounded down. So about 3 cases for everyone except the Trickster. The Trickster, how many awareness do you have? 7?
8.
8. So you can move 4 squares here.
So I'm going to move 1 space before the fleet zone in the corner.
Which square? Okay, this one. So 1, 2. By the way,
Yeah,
since
3
we only
spaces.
move octagonally, that means it's a 3 square movement that you did.
Yep.
Alright, so I'll remove that barrier for you, the turn order. There we go. The Sage was the next one, so what did you do? I'll just put back the Warrior where it was because... Oh no, actually we all work at the same time, so that's okay. I will go as far away from these barbarians as I can because I can cast spell at any kind of range.
I will stay at my place, and I'm gonna tell the other 2 to maybe, heal themselves.
Well,
we heal?
we can
Can-
only heal after the combat.
Oh yeah, fuck, I forgot.
Alright, so at this point, we all moved.
Do you want to stay there, or do you want to get closer? If you stay there, you can spend an arrow to attack the first target when he shows up, and then when he moves, after he moves, you can attack him.
That is my plan, to try to
Good.
get as much safety in as possible.
Alright, so I'll just do their life bars. There we go. Oh, not 12 out of
Ow.
21, 12 out of 12. Sorry, a little bit of a typo here. There we go. We got 2. Oh, no, by the way, that's a different thing. Because now those barbarians actually already got into trouble, so they're partially injured. So that's one part which is a little nice for us. Alright, now that the 5th round has started, I will add them to the initiative turn. There we go. By the way, is everybody able to see the turn order?
Yep.
Okay, good.
And we can also change our initiative, so eventually the program can just determine who goes first naturally.
Oh, at
by
this
seeing
point,
our
there is no initiative role in that game. We just check our awareness score, and
Yeah.
okay, you mean that?
Six down.
You mean that we could just update that like this?
Yep.
Like that. Anyway, there we go. So it's all entered. Anyway, it's not like it's very useful for us anyway. So the Trickster starts.
Alright, so I'm going to shoot an arrow at the barbarian that has 10 health.
All right.
Try to kill that one first.
Okay. So Okay, well, anyway, you missed. I was going to say, why not kill the one that is most gravely injured anyway? That way we will have only one enemy. But since you missed, it's not really important. The barbarians now step in and each go to the closest enemy. So that's their turn. Now it's the sage turn.
Another monk, the one in front of me on the head.
Alright.
Again.
Roll the appropriate
Nope.
amount of dice.
I go with the special thing. Fuck!
Well, that's missed.
Oh wow.
2 misses.
This is really sad.
Alright, on my end, I will attempt the
Oh my
spell.
god, did you really roll a 10?
Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to kill the barbarian close to the trickster, because I believe that one less barbarians is good. And I succeed! I rock at this. And let's see how many damage I do. 2d6 plus 2. That means 9, and it's exactly the amount needed to kill that barbarian. Yay! I'm so happy.
Lucky
I'm
bastard.
useful. At the last game, I was useless.
Yeah, completely.
Seriously, I could not fight my way out of a paper bag. Alright, well, I'll remove his token, because at this point, anyway, the Trickster can take his place. I'll just remove those that are killed. There we go. Alright, and speaking about the Trickster, it's his turn.
Yeah, so I will move over beside the barbarian, and that will be my turn.
Okay, there we go, done. The barbarian's turn. Now he has to decide who he will attack. So 1-2 warrior, 3-4 sage, 5-6 for the trickster, and he decides to attack the warrior. Great. And he misses. So that's great. That's great for all of us. So warrior and a sage, do your stuff. Warrior hits. That's great. On my end,
Doing 4 damage.
I'll just rememorize my spell while you all do your stuff. And that's 4 damage minus 1, 3. Then he has 7 endurance remaining. What about you, Sage? What you do? Roll your dice.
I hit him again on the head.
Please try not to get fancy. We want you to hit sometimes.
I'd say wait a bit before using that fancy.
Oh my god, sorry. For a moment, I got disconnected from Roll20.
Oh, gosh.
I was wondering where the fuck it was.
Could you change your icon back again on the chat?
Yep.
There we go. Thanks.
I hit him on the head with a regular attack.
Damn, you
I
just
failed.
missed. Alright, well, that's our turn, Trickster. It's up to you.
All right, let's go to try to hit him with my sword.
And you miss.
Goddamn.
Barbarian still manages to try and fight someone. And he fights the sage this time, and he misses, right? Yeah, he misses. Barely, but he misses. Alright, that's good for us. So, as the sage and warrior wail at him, I will attempt my... Okay, warrior hits. And that's a 2, so 1 damage. That's not gonna kill various individuals, but still, it's something. What about you, Sage? Yeah,
I hit him again.
And I will attempt to spell at him again. And I manage. We both hit, so do your damage, I'll do mine. So 3 damage, and I do 9. So, well,
Question for you,
yeah, he's dead. He's totally dead. And we won.
White fire.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
When you want to use this spell, Adam, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, when you try to use that spell, White Fire, your roll, isn't it 2d6 plus 1 since it's level 1 spell?
Yeah, that's right. I actually did not manage to hit him. Okay, so I keep that spell memorized then. So yeah, let's just put back that barbarian in. Still, the sage managed to do what? 3 damage. So it was at 6, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's down at 4.
All right. So let's just put his so 4 out of 12. Invisible to everyone. There we go. There we go. Fixed. And let's just put him back into the initiative. just here at 7. There we go. And then we all tried it. Trickster, it's your turn. And silently he tries to hit, and unfortunately stealth doesn't work. Barbarian will attempt to attack another one. The warrior, he will hit this time, and he will do 5 damage.
2.
Alright, so Sage, Warrior, and Enchanter. This time, since it's the second turn around that I will attempt to cast a spell, I will attempt again without the +1. And, oh, I got it!
I miss.
And Warrior, you do 3 damage, so 2 more.
So not enough.
And I do 2d6 plus 2, so I destroy him. I feel useful. Alright, so by the way, since this is the end of the combat, I do not need to say it, but I will rememorize the spell before we continue it.
And Trickster and I guess, are both gonna eat 1 item of food.
Yeah, I'm going to eat an item of food.
Hey, Sage, do you want to try your healing ability?
Oh yeah, I could.
Well, at this point, you still need to invest a certain amount of endurance points. Since there's not many injuries, you could try and commit 1 of your endurance point and roll your die.
Me?
Yeah, well, the way the healing works is that you invest, so you remove from yourself a certain amount of endurance points, and then you roll a 1d6 minus 2, and you multiply the amount of endurance you have spent with the amount you get on the dice. So you could lose those endurance points, or you could get more than what you spent and then redistribute it among the party members.
Okay, so for example, I can use like a 1, and if I roll a 1, it's a 1 that I have to share, right?
Well, if you roll 1, it's 1 minus 2, so at this point you have lost it. Because it's
Oh.
1d6 minus 2.
I feel that it's not really worth it if you don't spend at least a few more endurance.
But then again, if the Trickster and the Warrior both eat 1 food, there's not that many hit points to recover anyway.
It could save us on food. We
Oh,
have 4 hit points to recover.
But then again, if he spends 2 endurance points and he loses them...
I know.
So what do you want to try, Sage?
I'm gonna use 1.
Okay, so spend it, so remove yourself 1 endurance point and then roll 1d6. And you lost it.
Yeah.
So you can eat 1 food in order to recover it if you want.
No, not yet.
Okay, so lose it.
Yep.
If you have many and you're just gonna throw it away after that.
Alright, I just removed the map. I'll be going...
Just to make sure, like, a food will bring me only 1, right?
That is correct. So you
Okay.
won't really waste it. You will recover as much as you spent.
Yeah, I feel like using... You know, I have 10 endurance points.
Yeah, you don't have a lot.
It's kind of a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of not a lot when enemies that do like more than 1d6 damage each time.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna use a ration.
I prefer us to be on the safe side here. Alright. Okay, I'll bring us back to the main world map, and we'll continue the exploration, because we managed to go further officially than what we did previously.
There was something in the room?
That will be shown in the next paragraph, which is 87. Alright. The last of them falls to the floor. As he dies, he reaches out toward the fire-burned skull. His finger twitch in front of its sightless sockets, and he grunts something in the guttural Mercanian tongues. Then he dies. Examining the bodies, you find 4 battle axes, 4 breastplates, not much use to you, only armor rating 1, and 20 gold pieces. Take what you will from these spoils. If you also take the skull, turn to 38, by the way. Alright.
Piece each.
Well, for what, 5 hit point each, you said? 5
5 gold each, since there's 20.
Alright. I have no problem with that.
Seems fair.
So I have now 15 gold in my money pouch.
But the battle axes seem to do more damage. Is that correct? Or
Now, as the thing, the damage is dependent on the character, not technically the weapon, except if it's an enchanted weapon. The barbarian were just eye level enough to inflict 1d6 plus 2 with axes.
okay.
So should we take the skull?
I believe we could try. The skull is here for a reason, except if it's a trap or something. But I think it's worth a shot. So.
Could you?
Sorry.
I misheard what you said.
I think it's worth a shot at this point. It is in the room. Maybe it will be helpful. Maybe it's a trap. So at this point, we should still try.
Yeah.
So in a multiplayer party, if no one specified he or she was touching the skull, well, do we specify if someone takes the skull?
It's totally me. I'm totally taking the skull.
Okay, so
Okay.
Well, apparently stage 1 to 2, the Trickster wants to. So
I'd really go with the Enchanter for this. Because you have the highest psychic ability. You or the Sage.
right, yeah, I do have the highest psychic ability, except not. Because right now my psychic
drop
ability is 7. Because I memorized a spell.
It would still be between you and the Sage, just to be on the safe side. Or you could drop the spell.
I have 7 too, so you don't really like. It's
Alright,
either
well,
of us.
Let's just say the Sage does it.
Okay.
Let's go for it. Alright, the following applies to him or her. The moment you lift the skull, its empty eye socket seems to glare at you, and the outline of the room wash away like a watercolor in the rain. Suddenly, you find yourself standing alone in a room filled with scrolls. The skull is no longer in your hands, but rests on an oak table beside you. You may take as many scrolls as you wish, up to your normal encumbrance limit. In order to rejoin your comrades, however, you will need to pick up the skull again, so remember to leave one space of your encumbrance limit for that item, so for the skull.
Okay.
Pretty much drop
So, there's a
food or scrolls.
I will tell you what the scrolls are available. There is a scroll of there are several scrolls of invisibility. When read during a combat, this allows all players to take the flee option on the next round without first having to move. There's a healing scroll. This can be read at any time. It restores 2 dice 12 and 2 dice 6 endurance point to the player who reads it up to his or her initial endurance maximum. So that's better than food, right?
Yeah.
Adjust. The player who reads this can take 1 point from fighting prowess, awareness, or psychic ability and transfer it to another one of those 3 attributes. The effect is permanent. I will not say anything for everything else, but I would like one of these scrolls.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get like the 2.
There are 2 other kind of scrolls, so I will just complete the reading. Time Blink. This can be read in combat when it has the effect of returning time to the point when the combat started. The endurance of both players and opponents are restored to what they were at the start of the combat. So it's basically a reset button.
They're all super useful, honestly.
And there's precognition.
Use
And there's a precognition scroll. The scroll, which can be read at any time, gives you a glimpse into the past or future, or one possible past or future. When you read it, you can turn to an entry at random and see what it says, then return to the entry you were at before. To find out which entry you may look at, roll a die 3 times, a roll of 3, then 6, then 4 would mean you would look at entry 364. If you roll a number for which there is no entry, 666 for instance, then the scroll is used up, but you see nothing in the past or future. That one I would drop. The read a paragraph at random doesn't seem like very useful.
Okay, just to know, I cannot like use one scroll already.
There are multiple copies of each scroll, so you can take as many as you can carry. Note down this entry number in case you need to refer back to remind yourself that the scrolls do. Each scrolls can be used only once, because once read, it will crumble to dust. Also, none of the scrolls can be read in this room, so you cannot get endless precognitions before leaving.
Okay, good. Well, I'm gonna take the healing scrolls.
But you can take as many as you want, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna take the healing scroll.
Okay.
Uh,
If you have some space, I would like one adjust scroll in order to increase my psychic ability by 1 at the and reduce my fighting prowess from 1.
if I do like take all the scrolls, will any of you share like a ration if I give them a scroll?
Oh yeah,
Because
absolutely.
we'll have no ration anymore except for the healing scroll.
Yeah, absolutely. I will give you all my food if it allows me to get scrolls.
I will take the 3 and throw away 3 ration.
All right. Well, by the way, you can take several copies of 1 scroll.
Oh, okay. Can take.
So you can
how
take
many?
like 5 healing scrolls if you want. There are many copies of each scroll in this room.
As long as I have 5 slots left, right?
1 slot left. You need just 1 slot left in your equipment for taking the scroll to get back to us.
Okay, so I can have 5 scrolls for each slot.
No, 1 scroll per slot.
Okay,
So-
that's what I was asking for.
Okay,
So if you drop the rations, you can have 3 scrolls with you.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of sad because you have the bow and the quiver. I'm really sad the Enchanter didn't do it. He has the most space.
Yeah, I just didn't want to go into a trap or something, so I wasn't sure. Those old adventure books are good for their, you make that decision, then you die. kind of thing.
Scroll. Invisibility. Scroll. And...
So 1
Yeah,
healing, 1
that's-
invisibility, 1 attribute change.
Well, at this point, how many slots would you have available for scrolls?
3.
Only 3?
Otherwise, he has to drop the quiver or the bow.
Huh.
Yeah,
It's bad.
I need my weapons.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, technically, we can fight without weapons, but we get -2 at our fighting prowess
Exactly.
and -2 damage.
Exactly. So I drop my food and I take a heal scroll, invisibility scroll, and adjust scroll.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. Do we take really the adjust scroll, or do we just take a second healing scroll?
That's up to you.
Wouldn't that just be up to Handel's choice?
Well, yeah.
You know what?
He's the one that's in the room. He's the one that's making the decisions.
Right.
I take one of each.
One of each? Alright. Alright. So,
I go back to the skull.
alright, you go back to the skull. 97.
Oh, somebody crashed.
Oh?
My phone.
Yeah, but Greg also disconnected for some reason.
We should wait for him.
Well, he might have written to us on the chat. Discord crashed. I suggest dropping gold. I can pay you back for a scroll of healing. Okay. Well, apparently he really wants his scroll.
Okay.
Okay, I think he's back on Discord, so that's...
Is it working?
Yeah, it is.
Well, if I drop the gold, I don't have a money pouch anymore, and I cannot use gold anymore.
At this point, we'll just wing it. Let's just say that you still have the money pouch, but you don't have any money on it.
Okay. Good.
That way, if we get gold, you'll get the money pouch. Like,
So I guess I also have another healing scroll.
all right. So, you reappear in the first room. You no longer have the skull, so you cannot make a second visit to the scriptorium. You step out of the room and continue along the tunnel.
Hello.
Before we go, may I just use the adjust scroll for a little bit? I'll just give you one of my foods and be done with it.
Yeah. You want adjust?
Yeah, that would be great. Thanks.
Okay. Right.
Alright, and I'll use it immediately. That way I will have a psychic ability of 9, which is awesome. But a fighting prowess of 5, which means I will never use my sword ever. All right.
If you had gone there first, you could have dropped the sword.
Yeah.
We would have had.
Let's see. My stats are done. I will change my abilities accordingly. Now I have 8 out of 9. I will not memorize the second scroll just to be on the safe side and be able to more reliably cast spells.
And now
Although I could take a more large scale spell if you think that would be useful. Like there's something
Maybe
like
not.
Volcano Spray, which is a first level spell that make every target lose 1 endurance.
Doesn't seem that great.
1 die
honestly.
6 endurance, sorry, not 1.
Oh, that's way better.
Less target armor, yeah. Do you think I should put that as a second memorized spell?
I'd say it's better off if you can hit more reliably, and it's more useful to kill a target than
Injure a lot of them.
many. Yeah.
Alright, well, let's go with that. So, let's go on paragraph 249. Alright.
So, can I have one of the healing scrolls in exchange for? Guess I'll pay you 5 gold for it. If others want to pay you gold for the opportunity to have scrolls in the team.
Yeah, just giving you food doesn't seem enough. I will actually also drop you 5 gold.
okay. Well, so I guess I have the money patch now, and
10
the
gold.
1 healing scroll missing.
Oh, come on. No. Sorry, I had a little hiccup with my recorder. Yeah, I think we're still recording fine. Okay, good. If we're not, that will be sad, but not
So
irreparable.
I lost 5 gold, but it's okay.
So it's 2d6 healing. It takes an action.
2 to 6
If you do it
healing
in
takes an
combat.
action, yep. Alright. So everyone's ready to continue?
Who keeps the invisibility scroll? Would it be the Trickster?
yeah,
Because
I
he's
think-
first initiative.
Yeah, I think the Trickster would be the first, the best to have it, but that's up to him.
Wouldn't it be better for somebody else to have it? Because shouldn't I be trying to take any blows? In case
Yeah,
the
he's kind of
warrior
a
cannot?
second best fighter here.
I didn't. I was talking about not the healing scroll, but the invisibility
No,
scroll.
yeah.
Anyway, I understand you. It's just that since it allows everyone to flee just on the next round, at this point, wouldn't it be better to give it to somebody that's lower to the initiative counter? Because as soon as they do it in a way, the new turn starts and we all flee.
You are correct. You are totally correct. I misunderstood the scroll.
It works in both ways. It makes more sense to have me tank a hit in case.
Yeah.
How about
There is
this?
any issue.
I'll take it since I cannot reliably cast spell like every single round. That way, if I know we're in trouble, I could just decide to put the scroll instead.
Okay, if you want to.
So you can take an extra food. I will just put a scroll of invisibility. And I just realized that I did not note down the paragraph where we found it. I think it was 200 something. Because that would have been nice to just have a reference to what those parchments do. I'm just trying to find quickly the page by flicking through the pages. Yeah, I can't seem to find it again. Well, we'll just have to use our good old memory to figure out what it does. Let's hope we don't have to use it. Anyway, so let's go back to where we were. 249. And saving my changes. Alright. The walls of the passage bear a decorative frieze showing gladiators locked in bloody battle. At the end, you find a set of steps leading down into a monumental subterranean amphitheater. Tiers of seats sweep up on all sides. A shaft in the ceiling emits a one flicker of bleak grey daylight. On a low dais, a thin figure sits hunched over an onyx table. His robe sinks like a pool of molten gold. And his skin is a rich ebony black. He looks up as you enter and pauses for a moment like one who has just awakened from a very long sleep. Then he speaks. "You have done well to come so far, though you are not the first. Now you must face a great challenge. Not a test of wits or wisdom, nor of swords or spell. You must beat me at a game." Turn to 26.
Is it tic-tac-toe?
I hope it is tic-tac-toe. Because nobody will win. Anyway, so the being spreads his hands over the surface of the table. As he draws them back, 14 gleaming gold coins are revealed. 7 in a line in front of him, 7 on your side of the table. Beside each line of coins rests a 6-sided die. All the coins are showing heads. "I am called Clef," says the mysterious being. "I am grandmasters of this game, which the true Magi called the Spiral of Gold. Pay close attention as I explain it to you. We play in rounds called spirals. In the first spiral, I shall secretly select a number on my die, placing it under my hand with the number I have chosen uppermost. You do the same. Then we reveal and compare our chosen numbers. Suppose that I have the higher number. In this case, you would lose some of your coins, equal to the difference between our two chosen numbers. I do not get the coins you lose. They just vanish. Alright, so in our example, you've lost some of your coins. I wouldn't lose any, but the number I displayed on my die is the number of coins I have to flip over from heads to tails. So if I displayed a 4 and you displayed a 3, you would lose 1 coin, and I would have to flip over 4 of my coins from heads to tails. Then we then start the next spiral by recovering. That is, if either player has any coins showing tails, he can flip one of them over to heads again. Then we select numbers as before, and play proceeds until one player has no heads showing at the end of a spiral. Then he's lost. There are 3 other rules you must remember. You cannot choose a number on your die that is equal to or greater than the number of heads you have showing. That means we can each put any number from 1 to 6 on the first spiral, since we start with 7 coins, all heads up. But if at some later point of the game I have only 5 heads showing, I'd have to use a number from 1 to 4. Secondly, if we both choose the same number, then that spiral is a draw and neither player loses anything. Lastly, when you have to lose a number of coins, you must take them from the heads, not the tails, among the coins you have left. So, do you understand how to play? If you reply that you're ready for the game, turn to 15. If you tell him that you have no idea what this game is about, turn to 10.
There's an option.
There's an option to tell him that we don't understand the rules. I think
do
I
get that.
understand
I'm
the
just
rules.
not sure what's the best option to play it, though.
Well, I don't think there's a way to cheat at this game. We need to think it through mathematically.
It's still gonna be... I'm pretty sure you rolls what it goes with, or something like that.
No, we don't roll. We just select a number.
Yeah, but is it pre-selected for the...
Yes, it is pre-selected. If I recall correctly, Clef will already have pre-selected numbers.
Okay.
Alright. I will just open a notepad on my end in order to note the amount of coins that we have and the amount of coins that Clef has, and we will be able to start the game. I hope that the Sage will know about this, because sometimes game strategies are being given to characters just to help us. And the Clef has a 7 out of 7 of his coins that are on the heads. Alright. Do we tell him that we don't know how to play, or do we play?
I would say we play.
Yeah, I think
we're good.
better not to just make him mad. So, excellent. He conceals his die behind a slender hand and smiles across the table as he considers his opening gambit. In a multiplayer party, decide who is playing against him. This player must choose the numbers without conferring with the rest of the party. So the book says that whoever is going to win cannot get advice.
Well, who wants to play a game?
So who tries it?
Do we think that there's going to be some benefit for a class?
I don't think there's going to be a benefit to a class. We basically need to win it. I think I have a strategy, but it might not win. So if you're willing to have some faith in me, I guess I could try it.
Go ahead.
All right. I will go against Clef, and I will select a 4. All right. So then we go to paragraph 20. Clef opens his hands and to display a 5. Okay. If your chosen number was 4, turn to 35. You have him, and he knows it. Oh, actually, we won in one round. Because he selected 5, which means he has to flip 5 of his coins at heads. Meaning he only has 2 heads remaining. But we lose. We have selected 4. Which means we have 3 left, but we lose 1 dice. So we have 2 out of 6.
And now we can always select something bigger than he does, or?
Oh, okay, no, the defender actually does not flip any of his coins. So I have 6 coins out of 6, and Clef has 2 coins out of 7. Meaning that
and he can only
if
pick
I
one.
play 4 on my next round, or 5, sorry, because he will recover 1, so he has 3 out of 7. So if I select 6, and he selects his maximum, which is 3, he will lose every single one of his remaining coins.
Well,
which means
that was easier than expected.
I was actually thinking about choosing 4 would be the best choice in this situation.
To be honest, I did not understand jack shit to the rules, so.
So yeah, well, basically
I
just
letting you do it.
I just chose the middle high number because that was the one which was statistically most probable to make me lose the least amount of coins. Even if I won. So I just used math, and apparently that made me win in one round. So great, 85. I guess I did not expect to win in one round. Clef looks at you with a wry smile. Very few people have ever beaten me at the game, he says.
It's a game of luck.
No, it's technically a game of math. No reward I can offer truly expresses my admiration. Nonetheless, I have a couple of items that might interest you. He places 2 objects on the table. One is an octagonal prism of colored glass. The other is a sparkling blue ice jewel. Take both, say Clef. I feel magnanimous. And now, prepare to enter the nether caverns. So I basically have 2 more gems. Basically 2 more gems.
We don't know. We don't know what they do.
So I have 2 octagonal. No, actually I don't have 2. One of them is the warrior, I think, that has it.
Yep.
But I'll take the second one.
Glass prism was offered to the first in the party order, so it might be more useful for Trickster if he becomes first in party order.
Well, anyway, we can loot the corpses if either one of us dies.
Yeah.
I'm just going. Has anybody has 1 slot left in inventory? Because
yeah, I do.
Okay, so I'll give you 1 food, and I'll take the other thing, which is The sparking blue ice jewel.
Okay.
Okay, so I save and go back. Flickering beams of light shoot from his fingertips, swiftly weaving a web of energy around you. You flinch momentarily before realizing that the beams are not hurting you. What then are they for? You have your answer when you look down. You are sinking into the floor. Turn to 5. Well, he did say to us that we were going to the nether caverns. You slip down through the rock like a ghost, feeling the solid surroundings only as a faint chill against your skin. It is rather like sinking through thick, cold tar. At last, Cliff's spell brings you to the lower levels of the Battlepits. You emerge from a rough stone ceiling and drift gently down to solidify on a set of crude steps. An updraft from below springs a stifling, dank heat. Before I turn to 356, because that's the next paragraph, I will call a bathroom break, so I will just put a pause on that recording, and you can all just take a bathroom break, get something to drink, and something like that. And we're back. We have all our basic needs taken care of, so we can proceed with the nether caverns with the cleft spells. Okay, 356. So stifling dank heat. 356. 356. 356. You start to make the descent. The steps soon emerge onto a perilous ledge that snakes down the back wall of a vast underground cave. You look out for a moment, awestruck, at the unearthly panorama before you. The cavern stretches away for 2 kilometers or more, and the ceiling is 100 meters high in places. The basin below is the crater of a dormant volcano, and a deep red glow illuminates the cave from volcanic geysers that splutter and gurgle lava through cracks in the cave floor. The ceiling is supported by gigantic basalt pillars that reach up to the dizzying gloom. You feel that you are below the very foundations of Callaghan's Keep, and the thoughts of the sorcery that keeps the ravenous volcano in check takes your breath away. Here and there from rents in the rock ceiling, trickles of noxious liquid spray down. These are the outlets of the keep's sewers, and the volcanic fires burn with a resentful green light when one of these streams hit them. The bottom of the crater, far below the ledge on which you cling, rolls with a greenish-white mist that makes it difficult to see anything but the splutter of red fires. 3 pinnacles rise out from the sea of fog. The first of these is joined to a platform at the bottom of your ledge by 2 narrow bridges. The crossing looks perilous, as you have only to miss a step and you would plummet into a gorge where there flows a roaring torrent of heavy, evil-smelling water. Across the bridges you see a soot-blackened temple atop the first pinnacle. Foul hags caper out onto a terrace in front of the temple as you wend your way down the ledge. A welcoming party? No, they are pointing up a host of winged dirges that are swooping down through the unwholesome hair. They've come out to watch the show then. You wryly reflect that perhaps you'll give them a spectacle they'll enjoy. So we got dirges that will attack us probably. 318. 318. The dirges are screeching hungrily as they soar in to attack you. These dingy creatures fly up on the updrafts of hot, fetid air rising from the geyser pools far below. You spare a glance of hatred for the hags who have gathered to watch your desperate battle. You see them cackling, but you cannot hear them over the noise of the river flooding down the gorge. If you want to use an item before the dirges close to attack, turn to 89. If you race down the ledge to the platform to fight them there, turn to 407. If you make your stand here on the ledge, turn to 112. Well, we could always check if we have an object that we can use to help us against the dirges, I guess. But I don't think we have.
I do know that we have the invisibility in case.
Maybe. Well, let's see on 89 to see if there's anything on our inventory. It's usually the book telling us if we have anything useful. 89. Okay, which item will you use? An ice jewel, a vellum scroll, an octagonal prism, or a ruby ring? If you don't have any of these or choose not to use them, turn to 112.
Do we want to use one of the prisms?
Yeah, no, I don't think they're for that. If there are more than one, it might be for some puzzle somewhere in the dungeon or something like that.
No. If there's more, the prisms are. There's only 2 of them, and we got them as extra, as treasures for winning Encounter.
Well, the octagonal glass prism, we got one from Balasar, and we got one from Clef. We got an ice jewel from Clef as well. We could technically try if that's useful, but that's pretty much this. And the vellum scroll, I'm pretty sure it's not a scroll of invisibility. It's probably something else.
It's something else.
So, do we try to use the ice jewel?
I'd say so. We don't want to get to receive too much damage too soon.
Alright, so I'll try, I guess. You fling the ice jewel out from the ledge. Apparently, that's what I do. Calling upon its power, it chills the warm air current that enabled the dirges to stay aloft, and they spiral down out of control into the mist-shrouded river that courses along the gorge far below. Breathing a sigh of relief, you make your way down the platform at the bottom of the ledge. Nice! Actually, the ice jewel was literally an ice jewel.
So it's pretty much an item to win an encounter. It saves a lot of endurance.
Alright, I'll just edit my inventory because I no longer have the ice jewel because I chucked it down a ravine. But yay, we won. That's great. We don't have to fight the dirges. Alright, so great. 142 then. The platform is a wide shelf of rock jutting out from the cave wall. Across the deep gorge, you jeer at the ugly hags, who are incensed that you have defeated their pets. The only way to get across the gorge is via one of 2 bridges that span the distance to Temple Terrace. A waterfall cascades over the middle of the platform, bisecting it and cutting you off from the further of the 2 bridges. Looking up, you see a huge gargoyle head carved into the cave wall near the roof. The water issues from his mouth, cascades down in a torrent across the middle of the platform, then pours down into the swirling river far beneath you. As you consider the 2 bridges, a booming voice makes you look up once more. The mouth of the gargoyle is moving, and by listening hard you can make sense out of the deep rumbling words. Over and over it intones, "Face that which you fear most, or confront a lesser foe." Presumably it's referring to the 2 bridges. You could cross the nearer bridge with no apparent trouble, but to get to the further one you must step through the waterfall. The gargoyle's words are weighty with ambiguity. Which to choose? When a warrior crosses, he or she should turn to 478. When a trickster crosses, he or she should turn to 113. When the sage crosses, he or she should turn to 426. When an enchanter crosses, he or she should turn to 252. All players must cross. This must be done one at a time. Each player should now write down the entry number given below that refers to him or her, and when he or she wishes to cross, he or she should turn to that entry. The order in which people cross is up to them.
Do you want me to go first?
I think that we should try to go through the waterfall because the other bridge seems kind of the too easy, obvious option. Seems like a trap.
It seems stifle.
So, by the way, my number is 252. Anybody that wants to see their number?
Yeah, I would like to know my number.
So your number is 426. Oh, actually, I'll put just a signet, a paper hold. I'm not exactly sure what the name is. Anyway, I'll put something to get us back.
Page hold, right.
So, who tries it first?
I'll go first.
All right, warrior, the brave one, 478. All right, 478. You are about to cross one of the bridges spanning the gorge. The bridges look identical. What you must now decide is whether to cross the bridge nearer to you or whether to step through the waterfall to take the other bridge.
I step through the waterfall.
Alright, 336. 36. You step through the waterfall. As you do, an eerie magic takes effect. You look down to see that you have been stripped of all of your equipment except for, if you have them, your armor and sword. The normal one, by the way, not the blood drinker.
Ouch.
Cursing, you step out onto the slender bridge. A figure pushes past the excited hags and advances onto the bridge at the far end. It is a slim youth carrying a broadsword. He walks quickly towards you, and when he draws close, he says, "If I defeat you, I shall become a warrior to be respected and feared. Have at thee!" With that, he lunges forward in a spirited but clumsy attack. He has a fighting prowess of 6. He does 1d6 of damage. He has a psychic ability of 6, awareness of 6, and an endurance of 6. You could not possibly think of backing up from a foe such as this. If you defeat him, turn to 88. So, well...
We act at the same time.
Right, basically, yeah, there's not even a map. Basically, you're one in front of the other. So, there you go.
So somebody else rules versus me, I guess?
Yeah, I'll play the youth. Don't worry about this.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy!
Alright, so, well, you play at the same time because you both have awareness 6. So, let's attack. Okay, so you technically hit.
And kill him. First hit.
And he does not, by the way.
That was easy.
And by the way, he's dead. Because you killed him one shot. So, turn to 88.
You guy. I hope I get my stuff back.
Yeah, I hope so too. You reach to the other side of the bridge and step on the terrace. The hags glare at you but keep their distance. If any of the players are still on the other side of the gorge, they must decide who will cross next and turn to the appropriate entry. Oh.
I think I was the only one who had much to lose.
Yeah, you
Doing
basically
that.
lost your magical items. Poor bastard.
Forever?
Well, at this point, I'm not exactly sure, but at this
I'll
point,
wait.
it's up to the other players. 98.
I can go next.
Do you want to go through the waterfall and lose all your items?
I mean, in the spirit of not knowing of what happens, assuming that we're all going one at a time.
No, the
I would
order
still go through
doesn't
the water-
actually matter. Actually, we can see what happens with the other people.
That's silly. I'll still go through the waterfall.
You want to go through the waterfall? Okay.
We're gonna lose.
All right, so you go through 113.
Do you think we can reach the kid without crossing the waterfall?
What kid?
It might be something slightly different. Like there was a kid challenging a warrior to become a warrior.
Yep. All right, so you go through the waterfall, Trickster. Is this correct?
Yes.
464. You flip a coin, then decide to take the further bridge. Stepping into the waterfall, you feel a strange tingling across your skin as some fey sorcery seeps out of the cold water. Roll 2 dice, trying to score equal to or less than your awareness. And you miss. If you fail, turn to 104. 104. Unseen fingers grope at your backpack and belt as you pass through the waterfall. They are stealing from you, a fact you realize too late when you emerge on the other side, stripped of all your possessions, except for, if you still had them, your sword and armor. If you had nothing but your sword and armor, those are taken instead. You turn and glare angrily into the waterfall. It is just a theatrical gesture. You can do nothing to recover your possessions as they have been taken by thieving fussergrins. These water spirits are invulnerable to any sort of magical coercion. Turn to 267.
Seriously, stop going through the waterfall. That's just dumb.
You saunter out onto the bridge. It is a long drop to either side, but this doesn't prevent you from dancing a precarious jig to excite the ghoulish hags. They expect to see you fall, and you give a mock terrified whirl of your arms that has them clustering eagerly at the edge of the gorge. But then you recover your balance and stroll effortlessly on, laughing when you see them spit with disappointment. Suddenly, a rumbling voice lowers your high spirits. "Come from death," commands the gargoyle head. In answer to this summon, a shadowy figure materializes on the bridge ahead of you. It steps forwards, and the ruddy light of the volcanic jets shows you a man in a brocade gown. He has a jeweled patch over one eye, and the other is milky and sightless. It is Hurondus the Blind, a mad sorcerer whom you killed in a duel several years ago. You know that his lack of sight is deceptive. His other senses more than compensate for this ability. "Hurondus," booms the gargoyle head, "your dearest foe wishes to cross the bridge. Prevent this, and you shall be restored to life." "My dearest foe," say Hurondus venomously, "this is where we conclude our vendetta at last." If you fight him, turn to 171. If you prefer to rely on your wits, turn to 222. So do you fight him or rely on your wits?
I would like to rely on my wits.
Alright, 222. Well, that's the trickster's way, I guess. Alright. "Dearest foe," you reply, feigning astonishment, "this may be your understanding of our relationship, Hurondus, but it is not mine. Candidly, I slew you only by accident, and have no recollection of ever having met before that time. Certainly, Wendiba the Prophetess was a far deadlier enemy of mine than you were. Also Guthor Redbird, and Lacton of Crescentium, and then there was..." Hurondus has heard enough. He gives a furious bellow and charges down the bridge towards you, thrusting his sword forward like a lance. You must time your next action perfectly. Again, roll 2 dice and try to get equal or less than your awareness. And you're so unlucky. 449.
Oh, this is so bad.
Oh, yes. You evade Hurondus' sword thrust and place your hand on his shoulder, intending to vault over his head and run to the end of the bridge. He realizes what you're doing, however, and suddenly grabs your hand, shifting his weight heavily against you as he does so. "Nice to live again," he hisses, his face pressed close to yours. "But that isn't as important as killing you." Holding tightly to your arm, he leaps out into space, and the two of you fall to your doom together in the gorge below.
What? Did you just die?
He just died.
I just ripped.
Oh shit!
Alright.
We just made this way too hard on ourselves. Way too hard.
Alright, Sage, do you want to cross?
Yeah.
Alright, 426.
Wait,
You know what? Why not?
please don't cross the stream. Please. Don't cross the waterfall.
Too late.
So actually, it's not too late. 426 gives you the choice of either crossing the bridge nearest to you or the waterfall one.
What?
Paragraph 426, where I am, gives you the choice of either crossing through the nearest bridge or the one through the waterfall.
I'd still go through the waterfall.
Okay, 373.
You know, like, if one of us go down, let's all go down.
Oh gosh. You know we could still survive, right?
Yeah, I know.
By the way,
Yeah,
Trickster, we cannot really...
What do you mean we?
Well, yeah, no, we accept the Trickster. By the way, Trickster, what items did we lose by losing you?
An armor.
A lot of gold and the Opal medallion that I had, but that's about it.
Okay, you didn't have any scroll or anything like that? Okay. Okay, well...
No, but just by 2 rations that I had left.
Okay, but so the Sage, it's back to you. You make up your mind to risk passing under the waterfall. It is cold, but refreshingly so. However, it is obviously imbued with baneful sorcery because when you emerge on the far side, you find you have lost all of your possessions except for your staff and armor.
Even
And
my
you
bow.
also lost your bow.
Yep, you lose your bow.
Interesting.
At the same time that you advance onto the bridge, a portly figure steps onto it at the far end and, hitching up his long tunic, plods quickly along the slender walkway to confront you. "Greetings," he says breathlessly. "I'm Theodoric, an initiate of the mystic way of the Eye Unveiled. I'm here to establish the superiority and innate truth of my own mystic order above all others by defeating you. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted, you tell him, quoting the Southern Tahashim text. Therefore, if you will permit me to pass, nothing will happen that you might truly regret. Why, this is heresy, blustered the portly initiate. Blasphemy! Sacrilege! Your words offend my inner soul, and thus prepare yourself from death. I am prepared for that, you reply softly, but I do not think you will come for me just yet. You easily evade his first clumsy blow. You could try using your power of levitation to avoid this crazy foe. If so, turn to 282. If not, you must give him the fight he desires.
Let's go with the levitation, why not?
Alright, 282. Let's see if that works.
And he falls to his doom.
Let's go!
The power of levitation, perhaps the most difficult of all your psionic abilities. It requires you to realize the unreality of mass and weight, which is no easy thing when one is surrounded by the physical world. You clear your mind, reaching towards a perfect understanding of enlightenment. If you desire your foe's death above all else, turn to 534. If you feel that victory and defeat are in fact equivalent, turn to 173.
Killing him will bring no result.
So you realize that they feel that victory and defeat are in fact equivalent?
Yes.
Alright, 173. Seems to be the best choice here. You have passed into the proper transcendent state. Reality flows around you, but you're able to reach beyond it into nirvana. You feel the sensation of gravity tug fade away, and weightless, you drift into the air. In your serene state, you are disinterestedly aware that your foe, having lunged at you just rose up into midair, has fallen from the bridge into the gorge. You feel this thought pulling you back to reality, and you slowly settle down on the bridge once more. You glance down into the gorge where your opponent's body has been swept away by the crashing river. With a sigh, you continue over the bridge. Turn to 88. You reach the other side of the bridge and step onto the terrace. The hags glare at you, but you keep their distance. If any other players are still on the other side of the gorge, they must decide who will cross next and turn to the appropriate entry. Alright, so that's my turn to cross.
See, it was not a big deal!
So 252.
You just lost all the scrolls you had.
As well as the opal medallion of the Balazar. So
No.
I'll go to 252 and see what happens to me. You can cross the gorge by either two bridges. I will use the nearer of the two bridges at this point because apparently it's not been so good for the other ones.
I know, me, it was great.
So 128. You step out onto the bridge. As you do, the rumbling voice of the gargoyle's head echoes across the cave. Return from darkness. In answer to a summons, a figure appears at the far end of the bridge. The hags mutter excitedly as he steps rapidly forwards to confront you. A wall of force arises behind you, cutting off your retreat. You must face this foe alone. As he draws near, you recognize the coat of arm of his shield, the three-horned dragon in gold on the nether field. It is the insignia of Sir Guillarm le Cauchemar, an evil knight who was your deadliest foe until you slew him long ago. Guillarm speaks, his voice sounding cold and tinny with his black helm. We meet again for one final encounter, you spell-tossing churl. This time it is I, Guillarm le Cauchemar, which shall send you down into the icy embrace of Lady Death. He gives a curt, contemptuous salute, and then closes in for the kill. Guillarm's endurance and awareness are the same as yours were at the start of his adventure. His fighting prowess is 1 point greater than your initial fighting prowess, so 7, while his psychic ability is 2 points lower. He inflicts the same damage as you do with each blow, and his armor rating is 3. You cannot flee, and your companion, if any, cannot intervene in any way.
Well, just blast him with a spell.
Alright, so I will apparently be playing against myself. So, we have the same awareness, so meaning that we do the thing at the same time. So I will first try to blast a spell at him. And I managed to succeed. First time, yay. And I could actually just kill him with that because it's 2 dice plus 2. So if I manage to do like 12 to 14, if I manage to do 13 to 14, I kill him. I did 11, which means he has been inflicted 8 damage. So he has 2 endurance left. He will, charge at me with a sword and try to kill me. So he has 7 of physical prowess. And he manages to hit me, and he does 1d6 damage, which is 2 minus my 2 armor, meaning I get 0 damage. So far, so good. Second round. I will memorize one more spell. So I will put myself back with the White Death and so on and so forth, while he still charges at me. So E attacks. Still manages to hit. Lucky devil. And he does 6 damage. So, ouch, I get some damage.
Indeed, ouch.
So
That's a lot of damage.
I'm at 6 out of 10 endurance. Okay, not good. Alright, my turn. I try to spell at him. And I managed to do the spell. So, inflicting 9 damage, so killing him. But he still plays at the same time as me, so he will attack me as well. And he still managed to wound me and does 1 damage, so nothing. So that's great. Since that combat is ended, I will just eat 1 food while I do that. And
Did he do as much damage as you, or he did 1d6 damage?
it does 1d6.
Okay, I wasn't sure, because you do 1d6 minus 1, I thought he had
Oh,
most
yes,
of
he
your...
does 1d6 minus 1. Sorry, it does the exact same damage as me. Sorry, I just forgot.
So you can recover 1 HP.
Oh, yeah, right. Huh. Well, I recovered 2 because technically I ate 1 food.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm at 8 endurance out of 10. Well, not so bad. We are 3/4 of the group in. The Trickster died. Sorry, Andre.
Jesus Christ.
No, Andre.
It was worthwhile.
No, Jesus Christ is able to come back from the dead. Andre is not.
I was about to say, let's send the Trickster first next time, but yeah, he's dead.
Alright, I managed to kill Guillaume. So, yay. 88. You reach the other side of the bridge and step out on the terrace. The hags glare at you, but keep their distance. If any other players are still on the other side of the gorge, they must decide who will cross next and turn to the appropriate entry. If no one remains on the other side, turn to 98. So, 98. Now that the show is over, the disgusting hags lope back to their cauldrons. You move across the terrace, feeling their rheumy eyes on you. The repulsive familiars rush about under your feet, rotting crows with eyes dangling from sockets, yellow-fanged rats, warty, malformed toads with human faces, scuttling objects that suggest entrails on legs. They clutch at your heels as you walk past, and you feel you would prefer to be back on the bridge fighting than endure this horror. The hags themselves crouch on the temple steps, gabbling to one another and shrieking with insane laughter. If you talk to the hag, turn to 212. If you go up to the steps into the temple, go to 298. If you take the path around to the right of the temple, turn to 56. If you walk around it to the left, turn to 357. So, do we speak to the hags? Do we go into the temple? Do we go left? Do we go right?
And to the temple? At least not, we don't speak to the hags.
Okay.
And I scold the sage for going through the water. Through the waterfall. You saw what happened to me. I lost my magic sword. I lost all my useful items. At least Enchanter walked to the safest bridge.
Yeah, I nearly died. You just had to fight a child.
I would have preferred to fight the same guy you fought or another tougher foe and keep my sword. And keep my glass jewel.
I don't think you see the point here. We lost a friend right there.
Yeah,
right now.
there's that.
Did because he was an idiot.
Oh, gosh.
You were the first to cross.
Yes, he saw what happened.
Yes.
Tried again, even though he knew it was bad.
Because there's no proof that it would have happened the same way.
And here's the thing. Actually, if you just wait for me for a moment, I think they say that the description said that you lose every equipment except your armor and your sword. But the way it's described by the Trickster's thing seems to mean you lose everything except what you are currently equipped. Like your armor and weapon that you're using. But then again, the sage did not have a choice between their bow or staff, so Not exactly sure how much we can look further into these paragraphs. So we would have to decide as a group that plays this game whether or not the sword that the warrior has to keep is the normal sword or the magic sword.
Well, he was equipped with the sword, the magic sword, and not the regular one.
So do we let him keep the magic sword?
Yeah, it's the one that he was equipped with.
All right. Well, let's do it with that, and let's
He
assume
was not using the regular sword, and I can assure you that.
pretty much. All right. So, Greg, as per group decision, you get to keep the blood drinker.
You still got your sword, and I still got my bow staff.
Well, you just got the staff, but not your bow.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay, no, the
staff.
bow staff as in B-O, not B-O-W. Okay, go.
Yeah, it's the bow staff. It's literally named the bow staff.
So, Greg, you heard us?
Yes, I wrote it down.
Okay, good. All right, so did
Are you
we go
okay
up the
there,
temple?
Ray?
Did we go left, or did we go right, or do we talk to the hags?
When you talking to these grandma?
No, we don't want to speak with them.
Unless you have to.
They actually hate us for surviving, so I'm not exactly sure.
They're not our friends.
Well, I would go to the temple as well. If there's anything that's important, I guess it would be there. So that's two.
Sage, do you agree?
You can try to convince us if you want. Do you really, really want to speak to the hags?
Who are you talking to?
Well, the sage.
No, I said unless you want to.
Okay, so we go to the temple instead?
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. To the temple. 298, I guess. I guess if we manage to die, well, we will know not to cross the water bridge, I guess.
Yeah.
Disagree. Bad rolls.
Oh, oh yeah, you could have kept your stuff and not get your stuff stolen if you managed to get good rolls. Yeah, that's the and not die.
Indeed.
And not die as well.
And not die.
By the picking of my nose, says one of the hags in a stage whisper as you walk past them. Someone gallant that way goes. To your disgust, they all break into peals of high-pitched laughter. You climb the soot-smeared steps and enter the temple colonnade. The geyser light does not penetrate in there, and for a few moments you are in Stygian darkness. You are startled by blundering into a marble altar, and sweeping your hands along it, you first find a sharp knife, which you can take if you wish, and then a large stone urn. There's something warm and sticky filling the urn almost to the brim. With a shock, you recognize it as blood. As your eyes adjust to the gloom, a pale luminescent face appears before you. It is the face of a woman, not unhandsome, except for the greenish cast to her skin and the hissing serpents that are her hair. You need no sage to tell you that this is Echidna, the Ophidian lady, mistress of inescapable coils, Lamia of the benefical kiss, mother of Idre. She is without doubt one of the most deadly of all demon kind. If you speak to her, turn to 408. If you attack without hesitation, turn to 129.
I'm scared.
I guess we would get killed if we attacked her directly. I would suggest we attempt to talk to her.
That seems less likely to kill us right
408, I guess. The narrow slit of her eyes glow with green gold light. Shadows seems to dance around you as she whispers, "Take the knife. Sacrifice your blood." Every player can attempt to roll equal to or under his or her awareness on 2 dice if they wish to resist her command. If anyone fails to or chooses not to resist, turn to 496. If all players resist, you can fight her, but you will have to keep your eyes averted from her gaze now, so reduce your fighting prowess by 1 for the duration of this combat. So, we will try to resist her command, I guess, or choose not to resist her command.
Yeah.
If you decide not to resist, by the way, you can simply not roll any dice.
Okay, so if we all resist, we're gonna go fight her and most likely lose the fight. We have a chance to win because you do a ton of damage against single entities, and I could just go into defensive position against her.
Yeah.
Well,
On the other hand, and the sage is just, I don't know what you can do.
I'm just there.
We could try that, and there's a big chance. Like we have to all manage a psychic ability test.
No, it's not a psychic ability, it's awareness, meaning that we all get 6.
Yeah, that will probably not happen. So if we all try it, most probably one of us will fail, and we're gonna give her blood and give her what she wants.
What about this?
But less people are gonna get
hurt. What
hurt.
about this? Tonight we have about 1 hour, 20 minutes left. We could try to sacrifice our blood and see if that gives us something. And if we all die, well, technically we could get back at the beginning and still do the stuff and try to get as far as we can.
Yeah.
So, giving our bloods to Alamia, I guess, would be my suggestion.
Yep.
Okay.
496. We might just die there. The following applies to the players who fail to resist Echidna's mesmeric gaze. You feel an irresistible urge to put the sacrificial knife to your own wrist. You tremble with the effort of trying to prevent yourself, but you have no choice. Power is overwhelming. A few drops of your blood spill into the urn on the altar. Lose 1 endurance point.
We don't see our current endurance because
you can update it directly by going on attributes and abilities on your character sheet.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm not sure which one it was.
It updates on your token.
Yeah, I don't see my token right now.
No, I know. But go on your character sheet, go on the tabs that says attributes and ability. You have 1 stated endurance, and you will have your token.
Oh, okay. There it is.
So now we will remove how many?
1.
1.
From the total.
For the total. No, not from the total. It says just lose 1 endurance points. It's just 1 damage.
Okay.
If you are still alive, you suddenly snap out of the mesmeric trance. Wisps of red vapor are snaking up around you. For a moment, Echidna's face shines like a paper lantern through the haze. Nothing is entirely evil, she murmurs to you, nor entirely good. The image of the temple dissolves around you. You and your companions, if you're not alone, are being teleported to where? Turn to paragraph 78. So basically, we sacrificed 1 hit point. Well, so we got 1 damage. And apparently got teleported somewhere. 78. 78. You materialize within the broken walls of an old shrine. You can see the temple where the hags live about 200 meters away atop another pinnacle. Examining your surroundings, you notice a golden dish that glimmers in the sporadic light of the volcanic geysers outside. Greystone gargoyles cling to the walls, the dancing shadows making them seem to grin. Beyond an exit at the rear of the shrine, a narrow path leads along the top of a knife-edge precipice. If you leave the shrine, turn to 92. If you examine the gold dish first, turn to 507. Well, I would say we examine the dish.
Yeah.
Not because it's gold, but because, well, everything is worth examining. Turn to 507. Picking your way between the shattered and tilted flagstones, you reach into the dish and bring out a large gold talisman shaped like a stylized flame and with a large fire opal at its center. Record this talisman of flame on your character sheet if you decide to keep it. Well, one of you can have the talisman of fire because, well, you now have space in your inventory.
Do you want it? Do you want it?
The who?
Hello? Well, the warrior, because you already have a full inventory, you said.
Well, it's not full, but it's nearly full. And I already got an opal
how's it
medallion
called?
with octagonal glass prism.
What is it called?
It's a talisman of flame.
I'll take it.
Pebbles fall down the slopes outside, sending a skittering echo through the hollow shell of the shrine. You look about, noticing that one of the gargoyles is no longer where it was. Now stands blocking the exit, and its rock talons flex like scythes. The other gargoyles are also slowly coming to life and slipping down from the walls. Fortunately, they move only 1 square per round, so you have a chance to fight your way past the one blocking the exit before you are overwhelmed. Alright, so let's design a fight, because we're fighting against gargoyles, apparently. By the way, the gargoyles have a fighting prowess of 5, they deal 1d6 plus 2 damage, psychic ability of 5, awareness of 4, meaning they all play again after us, armor rating of 2, and they all got 7 endurance, and there are 8 of them.
But we only need to kill 1 to go through.
To go through and flee. So the goal is not to kill them all, it's to be able to unblock the passage to flee. Alright, so, well, let's remove the Trickster. Because. Alright, I'll do the map. Let's do it polygon style. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. 1, 2. Then same passageway. 1, 2, and 1, 7. There we go. And here we are. There's also a pillar.
By the way, you haven't changed the map. We're still looking at the Land of Legend.
Sorry, I'm just doing the map while we're not looking. Now I changed your set. I'm just doing the map here. By the way, the flee zone is here. And that's all I can put on the map. So you as the warrior is our... Let's just remove that. So you as the warrior is here. The second on the spot will be the sage, and I am right here because that's as lucky as I am. And now we have gargoyles, so I'll need to make the gargoyles. So let's make a duplicate. Edit. Call it gargoyle. By the way, Warrior, I believe you are still with us to see us fail. I'm talking about the
What?
Trickster, sorry.
Say that again?
Yeah, I'm still here.
To see us fail.
Oh. And, well, he can control the gargoyles.
Oh yeah,
now.
right, that is correct. He can control the gargoyles.
So, what did you say the black square was?
By the way, Andre, since you technically died, you are now in control of the enemies, which means we don't have to obey like their rules of who they attack first, who they move first. You are the one that decides it.
Okay.
I'm just making the change, saving the changes. Alright, that's great. We have now the gargoyle. You should see it now in the enemies handout. So there are a lot of them. One here. 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 Obviously, the one that's blocking the door is actually a little more important. But still, it's gonna be a tough fight. Alright. So do you want me to actually put their stats on as well?
I don't think that's needed as long as you can follow.
Still, it's not that long to do. Actually, let's just put that for the gargoyle, which is like close to the door, since that's the one we're gonna focus fire on. More than likely. Alright. Alright, so, let's do this. Let's go to the battle order. The turn order is going to be very sad. Did I do this one? Probably not. And they all got 4. We get the message. And there we go. So it's our turn. Since we all work at the same time, I'll attempt to cast a spell, I guess, to see if I can blast the gargoyle away and allow us to make our escape. If you don't mind. By the way, we cannot cross other players' screen. So let's just see. Am I able to cast my spell the first time? 2d6 plus 1. I must have 8 or less. And no, I did not get it. Sadly, my spell failed.
And we're stuck with you in our way.
And I'm in your way, yes. Warrior and Sage, how do you do? I'm just going to check the rules on movement just to see if you can technically pass through the gargoyles on your side. In the actions combat. Movement. You can move a number of squares equal to half your awareness score on the tactical map. However, you cannot move through or end your move on the square already occupied by another character. There are no diagonal moves. If you begin a round adjacent to an opponent, you can only move away if you choose the defend option last round. So technically, you can move, but if they actually approach you in some capacity, then
You have to defend next round.
yeah, in order to be able to move away next. Alright, well, it's the warrior's turn or the sage turn. Basically, whoever wants to go first.
It won't matter much, I guess. We both have 6 awareness.
Yeah.
In order to not have 2 gargoyles just sandwiching me, yeah, could I have some protection? Hey, thanks.
Yeah, I'm going there.
I'm going there.
Oh, well, you could have gone one step further if you wanted.
Yeah, it would have been safer for you, but it's also to let the mage move forward. So if you blast him this next round, and we defend, and then we all run at it.
Yep.
Alright, it's the gargoyle's turn, so I put those tokens under your command, Andre, so you can move them however you like. They just move one square.
Yeah, only have a move of 1 square?
Yeah, they only have a move
Isn't
of 1
it
square.
half of its awareness?
No, the fight states that they only have 1 move. They move only 1
Okay.
square per round, so you have a chance to fight your way past the one blocking the exit before you are overwhelmed.
Alright, so I will move all of the gargoyles closer that are a distance away.
Alright,
And then
you
I
can
will
move
do
them,
the
by the way.
attacks after that.
By the way, you can move them as you wish. Yeah, there we go. We are so going to die. Alright, you can roll the 2 gargoyles that are going to attack.
Alright. So that would be the 2d.
2d6, and you need to have 5 or less.
Alright, so we're gonna start with the gargoyle attacking the warrior.
Okay. That's a 5, so you hit. Roll damage.
Come on, man.
3
You're
plus
on our
2, that
side.
makes 5 damage.
Oh, +2. That's
Yep. They do a lot of damage. But you have minus your armor, that is 3, so technically you only get 2 damage.
indeed.
Alright, the one
I'm
that...
still at half health.
Yep. Let's hope I'm able to blast the gargoyle next round.
And now for the sage attempt for attack.
Yep. And 7. So that one misses. Great. Alright. And so, since every gargoyle has moved, it's now our turn back. So I guess you guys defend in order to be able to flee next round while I blast the guy.
Yep.
Alright. Let's hope dice don't fail me. I need... Now it's 2 dice 6 and no +1. So I need to get 8 or less. Yes, I got it.
I hope you kill it
I
in
hope
one
I kill
shot.
it. 2 dice +2. Yes, I kill it.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I do. It's so dead. And you guys defend, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's the gargoyle's turn. By the way, the ones that are near the heroes have to attack, and the other ones can move. So just move away the other gargoyles first.
Yeah, and then I'll do the attacks after.
Okay. There we go. Now you have to roll 3 dice to hit them. So good luck, I guess. Or bad luck, because we don't want to die.
Oh,
Yeah, it's better hoping for the bad luck. So starting with the warriors,
3 dice, don't forget. So that's a 14. That's clearly not going to hit.
And now for the sage.
That doesn't hit either. Alright, that's great.
Hey, my good bad rolls.
Alright, so how about we flee?
Let's
it's not gonna be enough though.
Alright, so
We don't have enough
since
room.
I will cover the most distance, because of my straight line to the exit, I'll just move there. So, who's going to be closest to the exit, and who's going to be not closest to the exit?
I'd say me because I'm less squishy, but if you want to be, you
Oh,
can.
one more
Well, at
armor,
this point,
though.
you can actually put yourself 1 k's more to the door, at least. Because you can move up to 3. There we go. And the warrior, what about you
That's
just
right
put
there.
yourself beside me? Yeah, right.
Sure.
There you go.
Oh, they move by 1.
Yeah, they move by 1, so we'll technically all move away and we will manage to flee.
So we don't have to play it out.
Alright, so that's great. Let's remove all of them and go to the next part. Everyone agrees?
If you want to heal, that might be a good time.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have
Please, everyone, eat food if you have some. If you don't, I just only have 2 food left. I think I will eat 1 and give 1 to the warrior.
How about
I'm gonna-
Sage uses
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, I still think we should use the food as well as the healing, because we don't want to sacrifice too much of the sage's life.
We'll see how he rolls and then we apply it.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
How many points of endurance do you sacrifice?
I'm gonna sacrifice 3 points.
Okay, 3 points. So remove them and then roll your dice.
For 6.
Let's hope for a 6. Let's hope for a 6. Let's hope for a 6.
So now I'm at 6, and I roll 3d6.
The 1 dice. This is only 1 dice minus 2. Ah, gosh.
Oh, come on.
You lost them.
You've been unlucky with those
I'm
rolls.
just gonna read something about your power. Can it be used indefinitely? Like you can use it again if you fail, or is it like once per paragraph or something like that? Healing.
Once per paragraph.
Once each time you turn to a new option, so each new paragraph you can retry. I suggest you do that like with 1 hit point at each paragraph that we do in order to just try it out. But still, I feel like we should eat our food.
Yes. You both take 1 ration, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'll give my ration to the sage because he needs it to heal us in a way, and I will eat 1 because I'm a selfish bastard.
So I guess I'm at 7.
Yep, and I'm at 8, and the warrior is still at 7. Alright. Alright, so I'll just remove the gargoyles out of the way. Nope. There we go. I'll just remove every single piece of background. We'll go back to the world map. And there we go. Alright. We managed to flee the gargoyles. And by the way, I re-memorized my spell because I was able to cast it. So go to 92. You wend your way along a narrow ridge rising like a sharp backbone out of the cavern floor. A murky sea of mist sits in the hollows below, illuminated now and then by the red lightning gouts of fire. The path brings you to a high-walled crater with a tall stone pylon built in the center. The pylon has an entrance that is clearly visible, and there may be many treasure-laden chambers within. But you have to put aside such thoughts, because the pylon is entirely cut off by a moat of boiling lava. There is no way you could hope to reach it. The path divides and snakes along the crater rim. You skirt the bubbling lava pit, slowly making your way towards an incline that leads off to the far end of the cavern. Suddenly, two shabby adventurers appear from behind a boulder near the lip of the crater. They look eerie in the glowing light thrown up from the lava below, clutching their swords like fiends out of the pit. One of them grins, crookedly displaying rotten teeth. Your money and your life. Turn to 385.
I don't have money anymore.
By the way, since we have a new paragraph that has been gone on, why don't you try a 1 HP heal, Sage?
Okay.
So sacrifice 1 HP and let's try to get a better roll, I guess.
So, just a second while I sacrifice it. So, I'm back at 6.
Please, please, please,
I roll a
please.
d6.
Oh, yes! That means you get back 4 hit points that you can distribute amongst everyone.
So, don't mind if I heal from 2 and I heal you both from 1.
Yeah, I don't mind at all. Actually, no, heal the warrior for 2 as well. I
Okay,
have 8
2.
hit points out of 10, and he will be soaking up more damage than I do.
Okay, well, you get 2 points, my dude.
I'm at 9.
Alright, so now we can go to the next paragraph. Turn to 385. Fortunately for us, they refer to the guys as shabby. So I think that means weak or frail looking. I'm not exactly sure what shabby means.
Pathetic, miserable.
Oh yeah, right. No, they actually are not shabby at all. What the F? What? What? That's so evil. Okay. Let's hope they miss every one of their attacks. Balance on the narrow circular because their stats are just ridiculous. Balance on the narrow circular ledge overlooking the lava pool. You're about to fight a deadly battle with 2 desperate adventurers. Their fighting prowess is 8. Each damage per blow is 2 dice 6. Psychic ability 6, awareness 6, armor rating 3, and they each got 22 and 23 endurance.
No way.
No, well, fuck.
Alright, you can...
22 and 23 endurance?
So you can flee either by fighting your way past them or by running the other way around the crater rim. If you do this, turn to 197. If you kill them, turn to 308.
We're not going to be able to kill them. They do way too much damage.
Well, they do a lot of potential damage, but yeah, I do believe what you mean. I'll just...
Like, we would need to be stupid lucky to win this.
Well, I'll still put us into the settings, so let's put the polygon here. This map is going to be drawn. I believe still our option would be to flee, but still. They all move at the same speed as we do, and we must defend. Some of you must defend first before you can flee. Okay. That's gonna be harsh. So...
We lost invisibility scroll.
Yeah. With,
Oh, you still have it.
No, we don't still have it, because I was not the one with the invisible... Oh, yes, I have it.
Yeah, you are.
I clearly... Yeah, let's move past them and flee. But that will be on my turn, so they will still have one attack each. I suggest both of you, because I've seen the map, I suggest both of you to...
But if
Sorry.
they have a turn before us, we don't have
No,
time
they all have awareness 6, so we basically go all out at the same time. So my suggestion is to have you two defend, because here's the thing, they're gonna attack you, and have me cast the Scroll of Invisibility in order to flee next round.
Yeah, that seems like the most sensible option.
Alright, sorry, just takes a while to draw that. 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. Alright, so if you don't mind, since we will not be very far into the fight, I'll just move us here. So number 3 is here, and there I will not be statting those because, well, I believe Andre can remember their physical prowess of 8, and we could go with the fight like this. By the way, you did not change your endurance stat. I'm talking about to handle.
For what I did though.
That's weird. Why is it not showing on your... Okay, now it's showing. Great. I just was seeing 6 out of 10 for some reason. Alright, so that's when the fight starts. I'll just add their turn. But we are all at the same time, so the turn order is not very useful anyway. Alright. So, each of you defend while the assassins attack, and I will cast my Scroll of Invisibility so we can flee out of there. So that's good?
It's good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so Andre, since we will all be doing this, please roll your attack with the 2 adventurers, rolling 3 dice. Andre?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Rolling.
So
Terribly.
you roll against who?
From top to bottom, warrior to sage.
Okay. So first warrior.
I believe they both missed, do they not?
Yes, they both miss because they have a fighting prowess of 8. So we were lucky in that point. I cast my Scroll of Invisibility, so I just remove it from my inventory. Because we lose all of our stuff, either by bullshit or by... Alright, so let's just do it. Save changes. There we go. Now my Scroll of Invisibility is no more. It disappeared. And we managed to flee. If you do this, turn to 197. Alright, so we flee. Let's hope it allows us to get away somehow. As you race around the narrow ledge above the lava pit, your feet dislodge a few stones which go rattling down the crater slope and fall with dull plops into the molten rock below. Great bubbles of volcanic gas rise and break on the surface. Then you see heads like burning Halloween effigies rising from the pool of lava. They are Skiapirs, malevolent monsters of living flame whose claws melt through steel and rock as a knife passes through wax. If you use a Talisman of Flame, turn to 131.
Yes.
If you use a Nice Jewel, turn to 411. If you have neither of those items, to 429. Well, you have the... So you use the Talisman of Flame?
Yes, I'd say it's a good idea.
Alright,
Do you
131.
disagree?
131. Alright, let's go. Talisman of Flames. We have the option, so better use it. You brandish the talisman. The baleful lava light causes it to sparkle like the heart of flame. The Skiapirs stop wavering like guttering candles. The talisman, says one. Its voice is soft susurration of hair. We await your wishes. Slay the brigands that pursue us, you command. Instantly, the Skiapirs turn upon the adventurers you fought a few moments ago. As they do, their fiery face change from experience of serene obedience to masks of hate. Slay the interlopers, they shriek, reaching out with white-hot claws. In moments, only charred bones and the stench of roasted flesh remain to show that the adventurers ever existed.
Haha.
No, not only that. A second glance tells you that the adventurers dropped something, an object that gleams like burnished gold in the light of the clustered skippers. When you go to investigate, you find a gilded riddle, which you can take if you want. The skippers watch wistfully as you depart. By the way, I don't think that you spent the talisman.
No.
Well, you used it, but it doesn't say that it disappears or anything like that.
Oh, I'll write it back then.
So, Talisman of Flame, and we have a gilded bridle. Whatever that does. What's a bridle?
For horses?
B-R-I-D-L-E, maybe. Bridle. The headgear used to control a horse, consisting of buckled straps to which bits and reins are attached. So yeah, this is something for a horse. Or other animals. So we have a gilded one. I'd still give it to the warrior because, well, warrior, horse, chivalry, things.
If you wish. I don't mind. I don't care that much about that one.
I don't think anyone cares much about it. But still, it could be useful. Like the other items have been useful. Turn to 223. We're advancing. 223. You reach an incline leading off from the rim of the crater. It descends gently at first, then becomes a roughly hewn rock stairway. Ahead, you can see a desolate plain of mounds and standing stones, and beyond that, a thwart atoll that reaches nearly to the roof of the cavern. At the very top of the atoll, bathed in a stark grey-white light, the Emblem of Victory stands proudly. You have almost reached your goal.
Close.
Your high spirits are dashed when, a moment later, you reach the end of the rock stairway. You had not seen it at first through the vapor filling the cavern floor, but there is a huge chasm stretching right across from one distant wall to the other. You must cross this gulf to reach the atoll where the emblem awaits you, but there is no bridge inside this time. Turn to 482. So 482. Seriously, you are that close to the Emblem of Victory? Dang. All along the gaping chasm, you can see the huge winged dirges sweeping to and fro on the air currents. One drifts close, but unlike the ones you encountered earlier, it seems disinclined to attack. Also, it has an almost human face. Again, quite unlike the other dirges. Espying you, it claws the air and drops lower, calling out a hollow croaking voice. Oh, this chasm is an impasse if one lacks wings, is it not? If there's a sage in your party, turn to 393. It's not even a choice, so let's go to 393. And by the way, since we had another paragraph, why don't you try another healing?
Let's go. Let's take one out. Just a second.
Let's hope it gives us something.
And let's fail.
And you failed. Okay, so we will have a sage in our party, so we'll turn to 393. So let's do it again, actually.
The healing?
Yeah, sorry again. We are on another paragraph.
Okay, I'm at 6.
Ouch. Let's hope you get luckier.
Hey!
Okay, so the other paragraph says, this is not a normal dirge, but an occult hybrid. Probably it was once a human who transgressed in some way against the Magi of Krarth, and as punishment was translated into this monstrous form. From what you have heard, so dire a fate would be meted only to the most treacherous of Krarthian wrongdoers. Krarthian justice is far from just, but at least most criminals are given the mercy of a quick death. You call the Dirgeman over. Turn to 79. The Dirgeman settles on the steps above you, flexing his enormous leathery wings as if glad of the rest. You notice that he does not have the spiked talons of a normal Dirgeman, but human hands. I could fly to you across, he declares in his cracked voice, but a question has arisen. Essentially, what's in it for me? If you use a gilded riddle, use 301. If you use some chimera spittle, turn to 321. If an enchanter is willing to enthrall him, turn to 11. If you cannot do any of those, go to 22. Well, we have a gilded brittle.
Let's use it.
Yeah, 301. How about that? We have all the items needed. You produce a brittle. By luck, a geyser shoots up a glorious flare of molten rock nearby, and the gold chasing of the brittle scintillates magnificently. The dirge man gasps in admiration. An extraordinary treasure, he croaks, his avaricious nature swamping all reason. Give it to me, and I shall convey you across the chasm at once. By all means, you toss it over his neck and secure the buckles. Swinging into his back, you pull tightly on the reins. The dirge man gives a muffled cry, but soon stops resisting, as the studs inside the brittle cut into his leathery skin. Reluctantly, he stretches his great wings and clambers up into the steamy air with you clinging to his back. The crossing is bumpy. You are continuously buffeted by a roaring gust of wind from the volcanic vents far below. The dirge man makes one half-hearted attempt to throw you, then whimpers as you pull harshly on the brittle. At last he swoops down to land on the far side, you leaving tethered by the reins of a boulder, ignoring his bleats of protest because he's a bastard. Because he's a bastard was my addition. It was not written by the author. 359. What? He tried to throw us off once. You trudge across the mist-shrouded plain. Small creatures scuttle away as you approach, but you cannot make out their exact shape under the blanket. Is that real? Yeah. Under the blanket of ground fog. Passing one of the stone monoliths, you make a quick detour to investigate it. The ancient sigils that cover its cracked surface seem alive with mystical power, but it is power that is closed to you. Even the modern Magi cannot read these immemorial runes, carved 2 centuries ago by the true Magi, who were slain in the eruption that destroyed the unholy city of Spite. What do they say, I wonder? A voice behind you makes you start. You turn to see the black-armored warlock who champions Magus Uru. He makes no aggressive move, but bows, saying, Icon, sometime called the Ungodly, at your service. I have seen what is ahead, and I believe that if we unite together, we stand a chance of reaching the Emblem of Victory. Separately, we shall surely fail. I suggest an alliance, which is permitted by the rules of the contest, as you know. We shall have to share the price, but even a shared price is more than enough to make us rich. So if you agree to join forces with Icon, turn to 17. If you reject his offer of an alliance, turn to 341. So just to remember you, Icon the Ungodly was the champion of the previous year's Battlepits.
So he's a strong guy.
And he's an armor-clad warlock, so he has probably magic and a badass armor. So do we take his offer? Do we take his offer?
I don't know.
I mean, he might try to trick us.
Yeah, but then again, if we just reject his alliance, he might try to kill us right now.
Yeah. We already lost one. Let's play it safe.
Okay, let's accept his alliance anyway. And if he kills us by treachery, and well, if we die by treachery, well, then we'll die by treachery and retry, because as we can see, we can technically pass this book maybe in one sitting, which is nice. And he says, a sensible decision, replies Icon. I see no reason to divide our forces when victory is so close at hand. Let our motto be, trust shall prevail. If any player in the party is wounded, turn to 51. We are all wounded.
Yep.
51.
He's gonna try to kill us.
Alright. Icon steps forward and shakes hands. First, let me attend to those wounds, he suggests. We shall see to be at full strength for the dangers we must yet face, and a small application of healing sorcery is what is needed here. He raises his hands and begins to chant in Harada, the language of his native land of Yamato. Seconds later, he gives a grin of feral mirth as noxious vapors trail across the ground toward you. He has cast the Mist of Death, and every player must try to resist his psychic spell. Anyone who fails lose 2d6 endurance point. A loss from Wist Armor gives no protection. By the way, so basically that is, we roll 2 dice and we try to get under our psychic strength. The psychic ability. And if we manage to do it, we don't take any damage.
I'm under it.
Yay, that's nice. That's nice for you. Now, me and Warrior. Well, Warrior, you love. And I.
Fail.
Fail, yeah. I have 9, it's just that I have 1 spell memorized.
Yep.
So we each take 2d6 of damage.
I'm dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Holy shit.
That was.
And by the way, armor does not protect you against it.
I know. That's why I said I'm dead.
And I'm not dead, strangely enough. I'm at 1 hit point, but I'm not dead.
Good luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Blah.
I was about to say, if he starts casting a spell, I would refuse, but we had no choice.
Yeah, no choice at all. Alright, so you're dead. Let's just remove your thing.
If you don't mind, I think I'll just leave at this point and go
Alright,
back to
we'll see if we
work.
manage to survive against Icon the Ungodly, yeah. 27.
Yeah, you tell me what happens, and I wish you survive it. That would mean an extra level for you guys.
Fucks. I'm alone.
Why?
Icon suddenly draws his sword and cuts powerfully a treacherous blow that inflicts 8 endurance point damage to the first player in the battle order. So the sage is dead. If it's still alive,
This is
you turn
nasty.
to, with a shout of rage to attack him. Icon only laughs. Surely you did not expect me to show honor to scum such as you. He crouches ready to meet your attack, easily casting a spell that covers his black armor and the tracery of red sparks. Okay,
So it's basically the DM saying, I'm having a power trip, and I'm doing a TPK.
well, at this point, let's see if I can luck my way to a victory.
And gain 4 levels out of it.
And by the way, Icon has 8 in fighting prowess, does 2d6 plus 2 damage, psychic ability of 8, awareness of 7, armor rating of 2, and has 28 endurance points.
28!
Yes.
He hits you once, you're dead. You have
Icon is immune to the enthrallment spell. He has cloaked himself in the spell of retributive fire. Anyone who strikes him in close combat with a sword, for example, but not with an arrow, is burned by this, losing 1 endurance point regardless of armor. If I win, turn to 377. So, let's see if I win. Who will roll for Icon the Ungodly?
Can I?
Yeah, absolutely. No problem whatsoever. I'll just put a small little token here. I'll just put the stats here. Say controlled by Andal. There we go. He has a bar of 28 at once. That everyone will be able to see. Alright, that's great.
I feel like you should do an all or nothing.
Yeah, but it's Icon's turn.
And he didn't he just attack someone? He cast a spell. He did 8 automatic damage on
since it's like
someone,
a,
and he still plays first.
Yeah, he still plays first. Yeah, it's the rules. So, it's Icon's turn. I guess you will move to meet me.
Oh, hello there!
Alright, it's my turn then. I will cast my... Do I cast my spell, or do I just drop my spell and try to memorize another one that will do like a bunch of damage?
I'd say cast your spell, memorize a new one, a strong one, and try
Here's
to
the thing,
cast
it will
You
give him
won't-
2 attempts of attacking instead of 1 if I do this. So here's the thing. I'm gonna bet on his inability to hit me next turn, and I'm going to change the spell I'm memorizing. Instead of white fire, I will try to put what the hey? I will. That's so. That's so bad. Do I have anything?
It's either vampire or
Nemesis Bolt.
you go with.
Either vampire or Nemesis Bolt.
Yep.
I'm gonna put Nemesis Bolt.
You could do it.
Well, it's 2d6 plus 5, and I must get 8 or less. So it's change saved. I memorize my spell. Icon the Ungodly can do an attack. Does he hit?
Do I roll 2d6?
2d6.
Or...
Yep. And you hit, and I
You-
die, and well, we die
That's
again.
it?
Alright, so that was the adventure. We were so close to the Emblem of Victory this time. So golly, group, then good game, I guess. We will do better next time.
Yeah, maybe next time we'll be able to be at full elf if we keep the scrolls and food.
By the way,
And
unfortunately, next Sunday I will not be able to be present, which means we either try to do it another day during the week, or another night during the week, or we just skip.
I won't have time this week.
Not even if we do that like Saturday night starting at 10 p.m. or something like that?
Maybe Saturday?
Because I think Andre works Saturday.
I cannot confirm my schedule because supposedly I'm supposed to be working tomorrow to Friday with the new schedule change, but
Yeah, right, actually.
they did not change my schedule.
Okay, so let's stop the recording, then we'll discuss schedules, because I think I have the ability to see your schedule for next week. So at this point, we will be able to take a look at this. For our dear viewers, hope you find this entertaining, and I wish you a wonderful evening.